Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to GameFace, episode 455, right here on Sifted Games at sifted.net. And we have a special episode for you guys today that's actually going to be a lot like every other gaming podcast out there, for better or worse. But one thing that's going to put us above is Matthew Keil. What's up, Matt? How are you?
You can't cut away from me now.
Okay.
Hey. The difference between cutting to you and cutting to Pokemon.
Yep, so you're probably wondering what I'm talking about. Well, I found a new process for getting B-roll ready for GameFace. And
Did you, though?
I did not, in fact. I thought I had found a new way to get B-roll ready for GameFace, and as it turns out, the files are incompatible with our TriCaster. So, for today, for this episode, we're going to have some footage rolling, but we're not going to have those big chunks of B-roll that I work my butt off on for the show. Those will be in the archived version of GameFace 455, but for the live show, you guys are going to have to see a lot more of Matt and I for this episode, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately. I guess it depends on your perspective. But yeah, today's episode is going to be like pretty much every other gaming podcast. I am surprised that still, to this day, most podcasts do not have B-roll in their shows.
I mean, I talked about that once with someone who's on one of those, and they basically said, like, it doesn't get us any more viewers.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it's extra effort.
I mean, I could see that, but it's like, you know, with Kind of Funny shows, they have like 8 people working on each show. What are they doing? Like, I produce this whole show by myself. Mm-hmm. Like, what are those people doing? Like, I don't understand what jobs they would have if they're not getting, like, footage ready for their shows. But anyway.
I mean, normally the answer to that would be like, union.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But I'm pretty sure Kind of Funny is
I'm
not
over here leaning
union.
on this shovel for a while. Yeah.
Can't touch that cable.
Yeah. So I guess we're going to put it to the test today for the live episode of GameFace anyway, as to how much it really matters to you guys, whether we have B-roll in our show or not. So we'll see. But there is some, but just not the big chunk. So it'll be interesting for us, too, to not have those big pieces of B-roll to kind of play off of while we discuss as well. So it'll be a change for us as well. But bottom line, if you watch the archive of this show, you won't notice any difference. In fact, the B-roll may actually look better because it's not going through the TriCaster and then being re-rendered again. It may look better. So we'll see, but just wanted to give you guys a heads up as we get through the episode. If you guys are wondering why the heck we aren't showing B-roll like we usually do, that's why. And I'll go back to the old process for next week. Crazy me trying to actually speed up something. Yep. I got burned. So anyway, and you guys got burned.
I would have done both of them.
Oh, really? Would you have really?
Oh, yeah, just in case.
It's really time-consuming. Yeah. And it's like, sure. You know, the night before, I work until probably 1 in the morning, and rendering that stuff twice at 1 in the morning, not happening. It's just not. It's just too much work for one person. So,
or I guess I would have probably done a test.
Yeah.
I would have done one.
But see, I can't. The TriCaster's here, so I can't take a clip.
That's what I mean. I would have rendered everything normally and rendered one of them, the smallest one probably, in the new way, and then seen if it worked.
The thing is I just rendered it to an MP4 file.
Well, MP4. I mean, sometimes I've gotten MP4s that like QuickTime on my Mac won't open. I'm like, you are MP4. Like, that's all you do. These
MP4s show up as QuickTime files in the TriCaster. They're not. They're just MP4s. Like, all the other files, I don't know. Anyway.
There's got to be some kind of, there's a formatting weirdness there.
There's a codec or something that happened. It used a different codec that still spits out an MP4, basically.
Yeah, and the TriCaster is so ancient at this point.
Yeah. It still works great, though. We haven't had a TriCaster crash in years, it feels like, at this point.
Well, now you said it.
I don't believe in jinxes. I don't believe in any of that stuff. It drives my fellow sports fans crazy that I don't believe in jinxes. So, like, I'm on a text thread with a bunch of Philadelphia sports fans, and I'm not a Philadelphia sports fan. But I, like, just say things as someone who's not a Philly sports fan. I'm like, oh, the Eagles look bad at this or whatever. They can't handle that. Like, they're like, oh, my God. Like, it's funny that I cannot accept any criticism of, like, Philly sports teams at all. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Philadelphia fans.
Yeah, they're hardcore. But anyway,
we almost had to some guy almost got banned from one of the forums I was on years and years ago for saying that Philadelphia sports fans are unpleasant and angry because they know more about sports than any other sports fans. And so when their teams do stupid shit, they're angrier because they know better than anyone else how much that team fucked up. And basically everyone was like, shut up, man. Like, what the bunch of crap. What in the, like, you could, and like there was a thing like one of the other guys from Philly was like, are you are you doing a bit?
Yeah.
Like, is this
like
is this a satire of Philly? And like, no, he was 100% serious.
Yeah.
100%. I know more about sports than anyone else, and that's why I can get mad about it more, because I know everything they did wrong in a way you don't.
Yeah.
And I'm like, then more than me, yeah, personally more than me, yes.
Yeah.
But there's other people here that I don't think that applies to.
Well, it's like, for example, and I'll just bring it up very quickly here and scroll up. Like, I'm a Steelers fan, and somebody, before the chat started, Eric Cartmenez, was talking about the Steelers. And, see, I scroll up here. He's like, oh, the Steelers are great, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, the Steelers aren't great. They suck. And the Steelers' defense is terrible. But, like, Philly fans, here we go. Steelers stumbled last week, but A-Rod will have them on track against Green Bay. And my response was, LOL, defense is horrible. Philly fan, never, ever in a million years would ever say that. Ever. They would just be like, what? That's not the case. So anyway, yeah. I don't even know what's going on here with chat.
You open the Twitch hype train thing.
Oh,
It's all your emojis.
That's a disaster now. How do we get out?
No, just click on one of them.
And send one?
Yeah.
Look at that crazy one. There you go, everybody. Hype chess on the way. Anyway, so a couple things before we get going on today's show. First up...
Even I know that Steelers usually have defense as their main strength.
Yeah, that's true. And this year it's the opposite. The offense somehow is decent and the defense sucks. And they have the most expensive defense in the NFL. They're paying more money for their defense than any team, and their defense is abysmal. So it's great.
Defense neither big nor nasty.
No, neither. Neither or. Yeah. A couple things before we get going. You guys maybe wonder if we're going to review Ninja Gaiden 4 this week. We are not. That will be in next week's episode. It came out today, or is it tomorrow?
Last night.
Last night. Did it come out at like 9?
5 p.m.
Oh, really? Did you get
enough.
a chance to play it, actually?
Yeah, I played the first 2 chapters.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about it next week. I didn't get a chance to play it at all because we have a ton of reviews in this week's episode. So Ninja Gaiden next week. Also next week, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 will probably be in the show next week. Which is getting mixed reviews, it seems to be the kind of games you guys really want us to talk about, the ones that aren't just getting like all bad reviews or all good reviews. And then an alert that there's another Kirby Air Riders Nintendo Direct. An hour long! What? It really feels like Sakurai has worked out some kind of a deal with Nintendo.
Finally, Nintendo has realized the power of Kirby.
Do we need 2 directs for a Kirby racing?
2-hour-long directs for this thing? I don't.
That's happening on Thursday, and if you're on SIFTD, it'll be there front and center for you to watch.
The Outer Worlds 2, the early access goes up Friday, I think.
Does it?
Like the 24th or something, yeah.
Man, so there's a chance that may be in next week's episode too, then, which means I really need to get on Ninja Gaiden. It's going to be a crazy week again, but tis the season. This is the way it is right now. All the games are coming out. It's actually a really awesome time. Like, I played a ton of games this week, and I liked pretty much all of them in different ways.
Yeah. I took a break and played an old game.
What was that?
Cloudpunk.
Oh, wow. That is an old one.
Yeah, it's like 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That DLC, I didn't even know it had like a sequel. I
didn't either.
It's really good. It's really good. It's a no combat, like just sort of fetch quest story driven thing where you fly a hover taxi in a cyberpunk city thousands of years in the future, and it's really well done. It's like pixel art, but it like works. Like it's like 3D, and yeah, like you can usually get it for like $3 on Steam sales. I highly recommend it. It's very fun.
That's great.
And true cyberpunk, like real. And the interesting thing about it is you get a bunch of decisions, of course, over the course of the story, where you can be the punk, or you can just sort of go with the flow with the system. And like that is a nice way to handle the cyberpunk idea.
Yeah.
It was good.
Okay. Let's see. One other thing before we get going. No, actually, I don't think there is. Let's check in with you guys before we get going and start talking about our awesome show today. So we are reviewing Pokemon Legends ZA. We're reviewing, well, not reviewing, but kind of previewing, but really reviewing Arc Raiders, because what I played is the final version of the game. We're going to review Keeper, which is Double Fine's new game, where you play as a lighthouse. We're not kidding. And we're going to review Absolum. And then we're going to talk about the death of Tomonobu Itagaki, who passed away this week, who is someone that I worked with pretty closely throughout my career, and I want to give him some respect. He passed away this past week, and we're going to talk about that. And, of course, we have the Lightning Round News Roundup, which is a lot of your guys' favorite part of the show. So we have an awesome show. Let's check in with you guys and see what y'all are up to this week. AJ asks, is anyone playing Absolum? Yeah, we're going to talk about that on the show today. Vincent says, I'm playing more Ball Cross Pit. Yeah, that seems to be another underground hit from this week. Let's see. Talimper, thank you for Twitch Prime. Norix Nessie 94, thank you for Twitch Prime. That's awesome. Also, I want to say at the beginning of the show, if you're somebody who has kind of lapsed with your Twitch Prime, now would be an awesome time to do it again. Obviously, the holidays are coming up, and the way the Twitch Prime stuff works is whatever you're doing now is what we're going to get in December. So if you'd like to help us out over the holidays, and we'll start talking about buying us beer for the holidays once we get into November and stuff like that. But if you want to help us out for the holidays with Twitch Prime, now is the time to do it. If you want us to get that money for December to help us out around holiday time. So if you're someone who's lapsed, totally get it. It would be great if over the next couple months here you could help us out with Twitch Prime. We'd really appreciate it. Swan Senpai says, it's like when I watch skate competitions, others don't understand why I freak out over a trick. They don't see the difference. Yeah, I mean, I've been dealing with that my whole life, Swan Senpai. Talking about skateboarding with a lot of people that don't understand it. I'll be honest with you, I skated for like 11 or 12 years, and I watch competitions now, and I cannot call out the trick right away. Because I don't remember each skater's stance, if they normally ride goofy or common-footed. And so when they go to do something switch, I can't pick up on it. So even someone who skated for years and years and still loves it, I could not announce like a skating competition. So it's pretty interesting. AJ says, go Los Angeles Rams. There you go. Let's see what else we got here. It's okay. See one Pokemon game. You've seen them. You've seen one Pokemon game. You've seen them all. Actually, with this one, I don't know if that's
You're talking about the B-roll.
Yeah, I know. Luna can fill in for the B-roll. Even this is different than the first Legends Arceus, this new game. They've made some tweaks to it, so it's not exactly the same. Shadowist says, I just returned my copy of Pokemon ZA. Interesting. Ian Esquire, thank you for Twitch Prime. Zet Saber says, finished aerating my lawn 10 minutes before the stream, just in time. That's funny. The Legacy, thank you for Twitch Prime. Nox Adernitis, thank you. Who else we got in here? Too Quick Capri, thank you for Twitch Prime. Oh, actually, you subscribed. Thank you. 51-month streak. That's freaking awesome. Where's our YouTube crew today? It's empty. There's nobody there. Hello, YouTube.
Silent.
Like is the stream working on YouTube? It says it is.
I feel like if it wasn't, there would be talk.
Yeah, someone would have said something. There's somebody. What's up, JM59854? Blitches SLXM. Just me here. There's really only like 2 people on YouTube today. What's going on? That's crazy. Well, hopefully more will show up as the show goes on. And I think that might be it. Yeah. We're towards the end of the month right now, so a lot of you guys have already subscribed with Twitch Prime. Vincent says, as part of TwitchCon, the non-assault portion, they said you can use your Twitch Prime sub on iOS now. That's great.
Oh, hey.
That's a big deal. It only took them 10 years. Thank you, Vincent. So now you can actually subscribe to us on your iPhone. That is awesome, and it should have come a long time ago. Ethan says, if you're wondering, there was a Steam Next Fest this past week where Arc Raiders and Ball Pit came out of. Yeah, I played Arc Raiders from that. Yeah, we're going to talk about it in today's show. Can't wait to hear this channel's thoughts on Pokemon. Has been bittersweet to me, from Daring Swoosh. Are you a Nike fan? A lot of people playing Ball Cross Pit. Have you played that?
No.
I haven't either. But a lot of you guys are into it. Interesting.
It's like a breakout thing or something?
I don't even know. I actually have no idea what it is. I just see it popping up all over the place. iViz, thank you for subscribing with Twitch Prime. That's awesome. 25-month streak. That's no joke, man. Thank you. This is for Vidya Games. Thank you. Just use it on iPhone. Yeah! That's awesome. So it does work. Thank you, Vincent, for letting us know about that. He says Ball Pit is on Game Pass. Yeah, I saw it yesterday when I was down. I saw it a couple days ago when I was downloading Keeper. Emperor Dress says, I am keen to hear about Bloodlines 2. I'm a sucker. Yeah, that's next week, so that's not in today's show. Ethan says it's basically a breakout roguelite. Interesting. How does that work?
I don't know. It's a poker roguelite.
Isn't that what breakout is anyway? You get as far as you can, then you start all over. I guess you do have lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't get upgrades to your paddle, really.
That's true. Yeah. Actually, in the later versions, you did. You could make it wider.
Right, but it didn't permanently. I mean, presumably for a roguelite, you would get permanent upgrades.
Right. Yeah, it stays. Yeah. Okay. I'll check it out. We'll see. Next week, I mean, we're already going to be slammed, let's be honest. We'll try to check out Ball Pit, but I'm not promising anything. Swan Senpai says no price increase for Game Pass this week. Nope. Give it another 2 weeks, maybe.
It's once per month.
Look, here's everybody on YouTube now chiming in. Awesome. Thanks, guys. So you are there. You rang, Ian McGar says. Go YouTube, Cinetyke. Why shy on YouTube? Yeah, for some reason our chat just isn't as lively on YouTube. Even though when the stream is over and I get the data for both streams, there aren't that many more people on Twitch than there are on YouTube. There's more every time.
I mean, YouTube chat is generally terrible. Like, I have chat disabled by default on YouTube for everything.
Because it's just, usually there's so many people that
it's just nonsense.
Definitely not our problem yet,
No.
but you're right. Usually, like, chat on YouTube is worthless because it's just too many people trying to chat. Daring Swoosh, anyone excited for the NBA on NBC being a thing again? Apparently Jordan will be interviewed. I'm not sure what that means. Glada says, I'm always watching on YouTube and chatting on Twitch. Interesting. Okay. Have you guys figured out that the video stream looks better on YouTube, or is it the same? TV Hardy, thank you for Twitch Prime. Good job getting in there. Cinetyke says, I guess there's more of a culture on Twitch chat. I think people are just more used to chatting on Twitch than they are on YouTube. At least the layman, anyway. The YouTube kids, they're very used to chatting on YouTube, though. No problem there.
I forget YouTube has chat sometimes unless it defaults open.
Yep. I do too.
And then you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh. Like on something like the Game Awards and like the chat's accidentally open and you're like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
You all need to go away.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, like in part because like for a long time it was just people saying Silk Song over and over again.
Right.
And
nothing You're right. Happening. They do find this thing that they just fixate on and just keep spamming it basically in the chat.
I wonder what they'll do now.
I don't know. That's a good question. I have to find a new one. Okay, we are ready to kick off the show with our review of Pokemon Legends ZA. But before that, here's a word from our sponsor, the one, the only, the awesome, LS Cream. It's LS Cream, the fine cream liqueur crafted by fellow gamer and sifter Stevens Charles. Inspired by the Haitian drink Cré Mas, LS Cream delivers an award-winning experience with every single pour. One sip and you'll see why. It's a party favorite. The silky blend of fresh cream and premium neutral grain spirits mixes great with everything. I dare you to put a shot in your coffee. I've been drinking it for years and still, I find new combinations that taste incredible. LS Cream is the kind of drink that keeps surprising you thanks to its notes of vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg, and coconut. Take it to any gathering and watch it steal the spotlight. We've never seen anyone resist. Ready to join the fan club? Head to creamls.com/sifted for recipes, retailers, and online orders. That's creamls.com/sifted. Man, all those drinks in that ad look delicious. They did. It made me thirsty. I forgot my Gatorade today, so I have to drink water today. I'm really slumming it. Ugh. Yeah, I know. I really hate water. I really do. So anyway, go to creamls.com/sifted to become a part of the Cream Team. But if you really want to level up and become a part of the Cream Team, you should enter the LS Cream 5K Challenge, where you can win $5,000 USD. This is not a joke. This is not a scam. This is legitimate. Create your own recipe for a drink with LS Cream. Go to creamls.com/sifted. Register there. Register for the contest there, most importantly. You have to fill out the paperwork. Once you do that, go to Instagram, put up a photo of your drink with a bottle of LS Cream next to it. Share what's in the drink. Give it a cool name if you can. Tag 3 of your friends. Tag LS Cream and cross those fingers because you could win $5,000. And that all ends on December 31st of this year. So you have a couple months still to get those recipes in. So go to creamls.com/sifted, figure out how to get a bottle there, get the bottle, work up a drink, win $5,000. Join the LS Cream 5K Challenge. You won't regret it. You won't regret just buying a bottle of LS Cream. You'll get it and be like, I'm cool if I don't win. This bottle's freaking awesome. I promise you, LS Cream is every bit as good as I say it is. So again, go to creamls.com/sifted. All right, it's time for our first review. For episode 455 right here on GameFace, we're going to discuss Pokemon Legends ZA. Matt, I saw some discussion this week where people are saying that it's not a spin-off of Pokemon. Have you seen that, like, around the internet, where people are like, it's not really a spin-off, it's more like its own thing, and it's like, no, to me it's a spin-off.
What do you think a spin-off is?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we need a better definition of what exactly that is.
Yeah, it is its own thing. That's what a spin-off,
Spin-off is. It's not the same as the thing that it's inspired by.
It's its own thing spun off from the main thing.
Yeah, yep.
What? I
think people are running out of stuff to argue about on the internet, Matt. I don't know how, but I think they are. But anyway, this is different than mainline Pokemon games, and the biggest difference is in mainline Pokemon games, they're turn-based RPGs where you take turns attacking. In this game, the battles are all active and in real time at all times. It never pauses. You never have a break. All the attacks happen on a cooldown. And in fact, Matt, I would say probably the best way to describe playing this, it's like playing an MMO.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there watching your different attacks, waiting for the clock to finish so you can use the attack again. With each Pokemon, you kind of learn a rhythm where after you use them a couple times in battle, you're like, oh, okay, I should start off with this one, then go to this one, then go to that one, then finish off with this one, and now the first one's ready to go again. It's kind of about finding that rhythm of abilities so that you can hit them in a sequence, and then when they all finish, it all starts over again, and you can start the whole cycle all over again. So that, to me, is what the combat is like in this. There is some active part of it, because you have your trainer and the Pokemon. And if the Pokemon dies in a battle, you just choose your next one. If you die in the battle, it ends, and you have to start everything all over again. So you do have, like, your own health meter, and you can get attacked and can get hit in battle. And then you have your Pokemon, which have their health meters, obviously. Or if you run out of all your Pokemon, then you fail it as well, although that's never really happened to me. I think I've only died a couple times, maybe.
Yeah, I think the trainer got killed once, I think. Because the alpha Pokemon tend to target you.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't
Not only do they target you, they run after you. Yeah. They'll run all the way across the map. They, won't give up. It's kind of creepy, actually. They just won't leave you alone. I'm like, I keep running, I keep looking behind me, and they're still there coming after me. It's kind of bizarre how they've decided to program those things. But that's the basic difference between this and other Pokemon games, sort of top-line bullet point stuff. The story, you are in Lumiose City. It's supposed to be Paris.
Yeah.
I mean,
Paris.
It has, you can see there, a facsimile of the Eiffel Tower, and then in your dialogue options, they will give you an option in French a lot of the time, if the tower wasn't enough. But as far as I've been to Paris a couple times, and as far as the rest of the city resembling Paris, I don't know about that.
I mean, it's as close to Paris as any Pokemon city is to the city it's based on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the, that Hawaii one was an exact replica.
There aren't a lot of landmarks in Hawaii, though. I mean, obviously there's one in Paris, and they kind of got that right.
I mean, I recognize it as a Paris-inspired city.
Yeah.
There's cafes everywhere. There's the river running through it.
Mm-hmm.
It's close enough. It's close enough for Pokemon.
And then the story is you are this young Pokemon trainer. You arrive in town. This girl meets you at the train station.
Boy, if you're a girl.
Right. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. A person meets you at the train station, takes you back to this hotel, puts you up in the hotel with this creepy-ass hotelier. And that's
3,000-year-old man.
Yeah, that's what they keep calling it.
Supposedly. Oh, there's Pokemon, so probably.
Yeah.
Especially because it's, the first Pokemon Legends took place 5,000 years in the past.
Right.
I love that there's a museum you can go that has an exhibit of all the stuff from the first game. And people were like, oh, I guess all the people from the first game are dead now. I'm like, yeah, it was 5,000 years. What do you think happened? That was the whole point of it. It was like you got time traveled in that game. That was the whole point.
Yeah. So anyway, you come to this town, Lumiose City, and you are holed up in your hotel, and the game is kind of split into day and nighttime sections. During the day, it's more of your typical Pokemon game. You run around. There are wild zones that you can go into where you can capture a new Pokemon to add to your Pokedex. And then there are missions and side missions that you can complete during the day. Most of them are go to this person, now this person wants to battle. You just go and meet them, and you have your little Pokemon battle, you move on. The other thing that happens as you get further into the game, a big part of your daytime section of the game is fighting like the alpha crazy mutated Pokemon.
The Mega Evolutions.
Yeah, Mega Evolutions. You'll get an alert, you'll go to the part of the map, and there's just this crazy powerful big Pokemon sitting there, and you fight them and defeat them. And once you do that, you earn like this little stone that you can then use to give to one of your Pokemon, which will allow that Pokemon then to do its Mega Evolution. And that's how that whole system kind of clicks together. What do you think about the plot in this, Matt?
I mean, it's every Pokemon game, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like young person learns how to Pokemon and magically is the best at it, most promising at it, and a bunch of older people take them under their wing, and it's like, oh, we know secret things we're not going to tell you till later, but for now, keep battling and training your Pokemon and believe in the heart of the cards and all that bullshit. And there's a secret thing, and you're going to be key to the whole thing. You know, it's every RPG really, but especially Pokemon.
Yeah,
we've been through this before.
Yep. And in this one, like the hotelier, he's there's something going on there that I'm not going to spoil.
There's like a whole bunch of things with like the Mega Evolution. Mega Evolution is really the core of the story in this because that's the new mechanic. So.
Because what's happening is Pokemon are evolving on their own. It used to be that they had
Can't
to have
that.
Right. It used to be they used to have a trainer for that to happen, but now they're doing it on their own, and they're running rogue and being dangerous. And so
the Mega Evolutions are beyond normal evolutions.
Right.
They're using some kind of special energy that they don't understand, and they're basically they're turning into kaiju, and you conveniently are really good at fighting them.
Yeah.
And training the Mega you get your own Mega Evolutions from that.
I mean, you pretty much need to have one in order to fight.
Yeah, you need a Mega Evolution to really stand much of it. Although you can
chip away.
If you have the right element types, you can beat them
without one
for a long. But you're gonna spend 3 times as long whacking at them.
Yeah. And there's a meter that builds up as you attack them. This meter builds up, and then you click the right stick, and that sends your Pokemon into the Mega Evolution state, and it does a lot more damage. And so, to Matt's point, like if you don't use that to fight the Mega Evolution Pokemon, you're chipping them with your normal attacks.
And the rock paper scissors thing doesn't really apply as much to the Mega Evolved Pokemon, which is good because early on you don't have a lot of choice in which Pokemon Mega Evolve.
Yeah.
You get like one specific one that's part of the plot, and you get the stone for your starter Pokemon pretty quick.
Yep.
But otherwise, you gotta get out there. You gotta grind them. And both by beating them in the story stuff and by there's various ways you can buy or earn other Mega Stones from like various shopkeepers and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what all the you see the crystal growths on the walls of the buildings. That's where you get like crystals from that to buy more of those. So, and then you're like, oh, which ones will I have? I don't, because I think there's a stone for every one of them.
I think there is,
for every end evolution. Of Pokemon.
For sure.
So you just got to find them.
Yep, and TMs are different in this. Instead of just kind of finding them or just someone handing them to you, you get them via research. There's a character in the game where if you do certain things, you get.
You do pull them out of chests and random people.
Every once in a while.
If you see someone with a yellow word balloon, they have something to talk to you or give you, and a lot of times they will give you a TM.
Yeah.
It's and like the TMs obviously back in the I remember back in the day you don't use them once, you use them as much as you want. In this one, so which is good because sometimes you need to mix and match. You only hold 6 guys, so you gotta kind of cover all the bases with that. There's usually gonna be one weak area. Personally, I generally do not have fighting type in my party
because they're very specific.
Yes,
I try to stay away from those. But during the day, that's generally when the plot moves forward as well. That's usually when most of the cutscenes happen that move the plot forward. Usually when you wake up in the morning at the hotel and you go downstairs and meet everybody in the lobby, a lot of times that moves the plot forward. And then at night, the game completely shifts and you go into these dark zones to battle other Pokemon trainers. And why that is important is because as you battle those trainers, you earn points. And you need basically to get a ticket. You have to earn enough points to get a ticket that you can then take to fight the next person that you need to take on in the Pokemon Battle League. And basically the whole premise of the game is Z to A is you starting out as a Z level trainer, the lowest level, and then going up through the ranks until you get to A. And I'm going to spoil too much. You don't have to go through all 26 letters of the alphabet. That's all I'm going to say.
Which I expected, but was also kind of disappointing.
I was actually appreciative. Because
I wouldn't. I think like I don't find the big like epic story very interesting. I find the Pokemon like kind of battle grind more interesting. I would have gone through the whole alphabet because it happens really fast. Like you can do it in one night. Like there's not a lot of grind to it. You get as many battle points as you need for a ticket in probably like 10 minutes.
And that's all you have though. So they give you about, is it 10 or 15, something like that probably every night to fight through as many as you can.
I don't know. I think the day and night cycle is too fast.
It is. I agree.
Way too fast.
But I do think they only give you 10 or 15 minutes once you enter the dark zone to get as many points as you can, and then it ends.
Well, the night is as long as the night is. Doesn't matter whether you're in the dark zone or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the faster you get to the dark zone, the more time you're going to have in the dark zone? I didn't know that, actually. I thought they started the timer once I got in there.
No. The timer is always going. There's no way to tell because there's no clock and
There is, though. It took me a while to figure out. You can't see it in this B-roll, but there's usually a circular icon in the bottom left, and there's a little dial that goes around.
I've never even seen that.
It's very hard to notice. Yeah. There's a dial that tells you how close it is to nighttime around the circular thing.
Because you can't tell from like looking around because the lighting's the same.
The
all
buildings
day.
block the light too.
Well, because they always block it in the same direction. Like the light doesn't move, the sun doesn't move.
No, it doesn't.
And then at a certain point, it says dusk is coming, and then it changes to like an evening. Version of and like sometimes in the morning it'll be hazy.
Yeah.
But like it's not like a Ubisoft game where you can tell what time of day it is as the light's moving.
Yeah.
It's honestly technologically embarrassing.
A little bit. It definitely runs better on Switch 2.
Oh, much better on Switch 2. I have to say, I've seen tons of people like posting like all these crazy like glitch videos where people are falling through the world and
really.
I have not had a single
Me either.
bug.
I haven't had any bugs.
And I played this a lot. I probably played 40 hours of this.
I haven't played that much, but I've played a lot. I definitely got hooked on it and started playing it. But so
it's very easy to play.
It is. So let's go back to night. Let's finish that before we move on. So
because I've spent nights where I didn't go in the dark zone at all.
Yeah, you don't have to if you don't want to.
Obviously, the night ends.
Yeah.
I
just thought once you entered the dark zone, they're like, you have 10 minutes in here. Okay.
No.
So once you enter the dark zone,
I've gone in late at night, like after doing other stuff during the night, and I had enough time to beat like 3 guys.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with when you go in the dark zone.
I see. So you go into the dark zone, and you have before the night ends to get as many points as you can. And so as it goes on, the game goes on, the amount of points you need to get that ticket to battle the next guy goes up, but also the points that you get for defeating each trainer goes up. So it kind of stays the same throughout the entire game.
Yeah, and you get more and more like you pick up these little achievement cards in the dark zone, in the battle zone.
They're buffs basically.
And basically like beat this many characters, sneak up on 5 characters, or get bonus points. Use super effective moves as my time, and you get extra bonus points and money for that.
And that helps too.
So I've gotten 20,000 in one battle from that. Like and that's like a pretty high level like battle. I've had the ticket for something for like days before the story caught up.
Well, I didn't realize at first that once you get the ticket, what you do after that doesn't matter.
Well, it matters in the sense that you get money for it.
Right, but you can't bank those points.
Battle points. No.
Yeah, so you have to go back and start all over again. But so once you earn enough for your ticket, you take that ticket and you go battle the next trainer in the A through Z line. So you start at the bottom, you go up, you go through Z, Y, X, V, all of that.
One of the weird things is early on, everyone I fought to level up, their names started with the same letter as the rank we were in.
Interesting.
And then they just stopped doing that.
Huh.
And I'm like, I thought it was like, everyone's going to have like Zeke is the first guy, and then I think you fight like Yvonne or something. Yeah. Like, I'm like, that's clever. Everybody who's you fight for the promotional rank is the same, has a name that starts the same letter as the rank you're in. And then like somewhere around like T, it just didn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was weird. Like I thought you had something cool going there, and you just stopped doing it. Like,
So it sounds like you got addicted to this game like I did.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's very easy to play. It's like it moves fast. It's got a good like
pacing's good.
It's got a good like one more to it. Like it's hard to pick a stopping point.
It's easy to understand and maximize the gameplay loop. Like within a couple hours you get it. You're like, okay, during the day I run around the map, I accomplish side missions, and later on in the game I fight the Mega Evolution Pokemon. Nighttime comes, I go to the dark zone, I get enough points to get my ticket, I go and fight the next person, the next trainer, I move up a slot, go back to the hotel, rinse and repeat, and you just do it over and over and over again. And as you get good at it, learning to navigate around the map, learning what the priorities are for missions and things like that, you can go up a letter pretty quickly. Like, I don't know, 30 minutes, 45 minutes probably per letter.
Yeah, I mean, assuming the story cooperates with you, you can do it easy in 10, 15.
Yeah.
But as you go further in the story, there tend to be more complications before you get to fight for your promotional battle.
Yeah. They start throwing, like, side missions and other
Right.
things in your way. And...
Like, it starts to be, I mean, it's like an anime series. Like, eventually, like, early on, promotional battles are the episode.
Yeah.
And then later on, it's like, oh, this promotional battle is not as important as the character you're fighting, and you're going to get a 3-episode arc to get to know that character before you fight them.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing that happens.
No, I agree with you. Technically, this game is embarrassing. That's maybe putting it lightly. I mean, in 2025, for this to be a game on Switch 2, I just was looking at B-roll from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet yesterday. And so I just got to look at that. And I will say this Switch 2 version of this looks a lot better than Scarlet and Violet. But Scarlet and Violet was also so far behind. There's no doubt to me that Digimon Time Stranger looks way better than this game.
Of course. I mean, it's
the
not
production
even a
values in that game, and it's not even just about it being for PS5. Like, it's about the work that was put into the game.
And how, like, just even like the little things, little cutscenes where you're just like, you're literally bumping models into each other and like not even making an animation for that, or you're just like doing that thing where like, you know, oh, we got to do this thing. He's going to do this thing. Cut away to the other characters watching them do, so you don't have to animate it. It's just, like, this is a $1 trillion IP, like, and there's nothing here of AAA production.
I guess you saw in that leak that I think what's ruffled a lot of people's feathers is in that the
budgets for these things.
Yeah. Where Nintendo and Game Freak are just like, you know what? F you.
Yeah, nothing.
We're going to put nothing
you're
into these
buy
games,
it anyway.
and you're going to lap it up. I mean, to me, that was kind of a slap in the face.
That is, I mean, that's very expected. I mean, it's the only possible explanation.
Well, you can look at the games and tell they're not putting a lot of money in.
Just things where, like, just little things that, like, I noticed, like, the fact that it always has to dip to black before it goes to a cutscene or goes back to the open world.
Yeah.
Like everything dips to black. Like, you are reloading
stuff,
a different thing for every. Like, there's no continuity between. Like like whereas like in Digimon everything's happening basically in real time at the same time. You know, it's bizarrely primitive.
It really is. I mean, it's hard to believe that in 2025. I mean, granted, now this is a dual release. This did come out for Switch and Switch 2, but there's no reason this game couldn't look better on Switch than it does.
I mean, this thing should have been on the Wii.
Yeah.
Wii U.
Yeah. I mean, it could run on the Wii U, no problem. No problem at all.
I appreciate like the size of the world is pretty good, but again, you got
that's
buildings,
another thing people are complaining about.
You got buildings blocking everything.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? So I think the biggest complaint everybody has with this game is that it takes place in one location. And that's accurate, but it's a really big location, and it's also very diverse. There's parks, there's urban areas, like...
Yeah, I don't really care.
I didn't either.
It's
it didn't
fine.
bother me at all.
Like the wild areas where the Pokemon are different enough. You understand the biomes. The fast travel is fine. Like there's enough like exploration of the different the sewers and the rooftops and stuff. Got enough stuff to look at. Like I get it. Like you want to have it be more of a big exploration of like a world or
you're sprawling
land.
out to some other town and you're on the roads between the towns.
Kind of thing. But I don't mind like this idea of like exploring a city because that is also a valid thing you can do in real life. Like a city is a very big thing to look into.
Yeah.
It's at least a different angle where like you come to a place you're new to and instead of like going out and exploring, you come in to explore. It's not a bad idea.
Didn't bother me at all, but
it does give you kind of a break from the sort of formula of wander through land, get to new location, discover in 5 minutes the culture and problem at this location, solve problem in an hour, and then leave.
Move on. Yeah.
Like you kind of do get immersed a little more in sort of like the different factions struggling with each other here. Like
you learn about the city.
Yeah, it's not, like, that's way more interesting than the actual story. To a lot of degree.
I agree. Yeah. So I didn't have a problem.
So I didn't really mind that.
Yeah.
We've done the other version enough.
Yeah.
Maybe they won't ever go back to this idea again
because so many people complain.
But I think you could do like a version of this in like a New York City, Pokemon New York City or Pokemon Tokyo or something, and pull it off.
Yeah.
Especially in 40 years when you can actually run an open world properly.
I mean, they should be in like 4 years, but that's not how it's gonna work.
But it's just it doesn't look bad. but it's just
It kind of does.
It looks. I mean, it looks clean, and like there's at least some detail in places, but it's just like it's a generation behind to some degree. Other than like kind of the visual, like I appreciate the visual fidelity of like the little embroidery on that flag where you can tell it's like raised, like that's pretty good. But it's like that almost feels like there's some poor artist in the trenches in the trenches. You're just like, look what we can do. Please let us free. Let us make a building that has facades.
So production values aside, though, I've had a really good time with this game.
Yeah, it's enjoyable. Like I understand the disappointment because the thing is, it's not actually that good. It's kind of like when you really step back and look at what it is and what you're doing, it's meh. But like it's just really engaging for some reason. Like,
and it's like catch 'em all isn't like a thing in this, but it still motivates me. I still want to keep finding more creatures.
You get really good research bonuses for filling out the Pokedex.
It's also interesting to see what happens to these Pokemon when they mega evolve, because they completely change and turn into like kaiju.
Well, so that's kind of one. I think almost every mega evolution in this is trash.
Some of them look awful.
They all like 95% of the mega evolution designs in this are some of the worst things I have ever seen.
Like they just made the abdomen like 5 times size.
Or like I picked Totodile as my starter, and
too.
My mega evolution he just got a big hat.
Yeah,
it's so stupid. Like it's like some of them are cool. Like the ones they start you out on are cool. Like the first one you see that turns into like a big like dog monster thing is cool. Like, but then you got like Starmie who just grows legs.
Yeah,
and it's like, what are you doing? Like. Like because they had like the big super evolution stuff before, and most of those I thought looked pretty cool. And now in this one, it's just like, it
does feel a little lazy.
That's gross.
Yeah,
it's just sort of dumb. Like, and I know they had 100 something to do, so it's not like they. Yeah, but you, I don't know. He turns black. I don't know.
The production values in this are definitely lacking. There's no doubt about it. It'll be interesting to see what happens when. It's Nintendo is no longer, and Game Freak is no longer straddling the line between Switch 1 and Switch 2.
Or like the Slowpoke, who's like his mega is just like the shell swallows him and it's just his head sticking out, and you're like, I mean, I guess I understand how you get there because he starts as just the pink thing and then he gets a shell on his tail, and like, so where do you go from there? It's more shell than monster kind of thing. But it's just like, it just looks ridiculous.
Some of them are cool, but you're right. The vast majority are not. They're
like,
very lazy.
I'm sorry. I know everyone's like, "Oh, the Dragonite." I'm like, "Yeah, he's got a fucking wings coming out of his head. It's stupid. That looks really dumb.
It really does.
I don't."
Now we just talked about Digimon Story Time Stranger on the show, and this came out just like a week and a half later. Obviously, Digimon Story looks way better. But which one did you enjoy playing more? Which one would you recommend to somebody?
They're completely different games is the problem. Like Digimon Time Stories is a turn-based RPG that is in the Persona vein, and this is an open world sort of MMO take on Pokemon.
But they're both monster battlers, where you're battling critters against each other.
I don't think that matters.
Really?
Not really. Like, because it's just
you're collecting an army of critters. You're looking at all their attributes and seeing how they line up against the enemy, and
that's no different than any RPG, really.
The difference here is you have hundreds instead of 8.
Yeah, but like
party members.
But you're really just using like 12.
Yeah,
right?
I probably
I have a very core group
I probably have like
to.
10 that I use consistently.
Yeah, every once in a while you get something where you're like, oh, that guy, I like that guy.
I'm
bringing you in. Yeah, you're bringing you in
to level him up.
Level you up real fast in the background. Yeah, absolutely. But like
in this game, you can level up Pokemon that are not being battled. So as long as they're in your party, they get XP and they level up. So
yeah, and Digimon's friendly with that too, where anyone he still gets like some kind of bonus. You know, you're moving forward one way or the other.
Which one did you enjoy more, Digimon or this?
It's hard to say. I kind of put them even for different reasons. Like this is more fun to sort of just run around and brainlessly fight stuff. Digimon is a more interesting story and a more interesting battle system
and better production values.
Certainly better production values. Like the real appeal of this game is seeing the Pokemon in this new setting. You know, sort of the same thing that Arceus was. It's like you've never really played it like that before, and this is you played it like that before, but it's not set 5,000 years in the past. It's much more the world you're familiar with because it's part of the modern day Pokemon world. It you know, if you were looking for a real time Pokemon game, here you go.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a good take on sort of the turn-based RPG thing with more, because Digimon Time Stranger is doing something similar to what the mainline Pokemon stuff does, because it's a turn-based RPG, except it's doing it with the lessons of the last 15 years of turn-based RPGs in place.
Right.
It takes clear influence from Persona.
Yeah.
Which, you could certainly argue is probably the gold standard for the turn-based dungeon crawler at this point, at least from the JRPG standpoint.
Yeah.
And that feels a lot more modern to me. It feels like I'm playing a game that came out in 2025.
Yeah.
This does not, except for sort of the Pokemon handicap.
Yeah.
Like, I don't expect more than this from Pokemon, whether that's fair
Lowered
or not.
expectations.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's good. Like, I mean, I do like Pokemon more than Digimon as a franchise. I'm more familiar with Pokemon. I was too old when Digimon started. I've never played any of the games other than Time Stranger. And going back and looking at things, people are like, yeah, the others aren't really like don't go back and like catch up on Digimon.
Yeah.
You're good.
This is the one. Yeah.
Well, it's hard to say. Basically, it comes down to like, do you want to play a pretty good RPG? That's Digimon. If you want to play a new Pokemon game, that's this one. I mean, you're not wrong when you say that like there's an element of like you'll slap up whatever we slop out, because that's literally true.
Yeah.
That's been happening.
Yeah.
There are people who feel that way about Scarlet and Violet to the point that they don't even really like this series anymore.
Right. Yeah.
But they'll be back for Gen 10. I mean, you obviously.
Wins and waves.
You say that all you want, but like I'm gonna see you on Pokemon Waves. Like, we know that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's hard to for me. It's hard to compare the two. It really comes down to, do you want to play Pokemon or do you want to play a good game?
I don't think this is
a bad game, but it's not amazing.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have any emotional attachment to seeing these, these depictions of these monsters, it loses something. I think. Like I think it's cool when I see a big 3D real-time rendering and he's running around with, of Charizard, and they're running around, and like, oh yeah, I know that guy. I love the Tyrant. Yeah, I got this little baby T-Rex with me. I really enjoy it. I think that's cool. Because I remember the days when you walked around on this flat 2D top-down map and you couldn't even have anyone other than Pikachu running around behind you. That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's also always a little refreshing when they don't focus on Pikachu.
Yeah, which they do not in this
They do not. There's no Pikachu stuff really.
No real story-related stuff.
So I don't know. I mean, again, if you're a big Pokemon fan, you already have this.
Yeah.
And maybe you're already disappointed by it. I don't know. I mean, you're... Like, I still think it's cool. I still think it's fun. The gameplay is easy. It captures what they're trying to capture, I think. It still matters if you wander into the wrong area. I was level 20, wandered in. There was I like little touches.
You can get smacked down every once in a while, yeah.
I like little touches. Like, I love that there's the stupid fucking trash Pokemons just like hanging around in alleys all the time. And I wandered down the wrong alley and ran into like a level 35 one, and I was like, oh, we gotta run. Like we gotta run from the garbage and. Like, the birds are everywhere. Like there's a stab made at an environment, like an ecosystem, and I think that's really cool. I wish it was like 10 times more than that.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons they set it in a city, is because you have a much more limited ecosystem. If you set it in the wilderness, all of a sudden you got like 10 times more animals you got to be running around with. Yeah. And like, I think they're saving that for another system. Maybe when they start making them just for the Switch 2.
Yeah.
You could maybe do that. So I kind of understand why they went that way. God, it's tough. I think Digimon is a better game. I think this is fun though.
Yeah.
And it's easy to play, and it's Pokemon.
Yeah.
Those are your watchwords for this.
Okay.
And I do think it's better than Arceus.
Yeah, I think it's way better.
I think it's much. They didn't sit back and just make another Arceus. This is a much better.
It is improved
take on
in
this
pretty
idea.
much every way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's how I look at it. I like parts of both the games, and I have parts that I don't like about both. But to me, the core of both of these games is the collecting part, the collecting the monsters and having the motivation to collect the monsters. And the monsters in Pokemon are just so superior to the monsters in Digimon. Like, I didn't build an affinity for any of the critters in Digimon. No. And in this, part of it is that I've been playing Pokemon, so I have favorites, and I like, you know.
Part of it is also that the Digimon stuff doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, you'll start...
They're just weird.
They start as, like, a little T-Rex-y thing, and then it'll turn into, like, a guy with armor, and then it'll turn into, like, a car.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Like, for the most part, the Pokemon evolutions, love them or hate them or any of that, they kind of feel like the same animal.
They make sense.
Moving forward.
Yeah.
Everyone's, I mean, that sheep one doesn't make a lot of sense. I was like, why does it have no wool? Why is it a naked barbell?
Yeah, there's
now?
a few that
bizarre.
don't make sense. Yeah.
But and when I see those, I think of Digimon. I'm like, oh, that Pokemon's too Digimon for me. Like, I've said that for a long time.
Yeah.
But
so that's what separates it for me. Like, I lean more towards Pokemon Legends ZA because of that, but I think they both have pluses and minuses, and they're kind of on equal footing. I do agree with you, though. The production values in Digimon vastly superior. And a part of playing that game makes you realize how inferior the Pokemon games are. And it does make you look at the Pokemon games differently, without a doubt. So,
and again, like, there are a bunch of things in terms of being a real-time Pokemon game. There's a bunch of stuff Pal World does better than this.
That's true.
But again, there is something to be said for the charisma and probably nostalgia of the Pokemon characters versus just a bunch of, you know, knockoff Pokemon with guns, which is what Pal World is, when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I mean, again, a lot of it hinges on how much you like Pokemon.
Yeah. I'm glad we have options.
Yeah.
And good options.
Which we didn't for a long time.
Yeah. For a long time, there's one game in town. And now there's 3 franchises that are...
And we hope that
Power World doesn't go away.
Power World doesn't go away, and Digimon can keep it up.
Yeah, seriously. And hopefully Digimon sells well enough that they can do another sequel, and it doesn't take 10 years.
Right.
Because that's the problem. Digimon is showing up like once every decade, but maybe that's not the problem. Maybe that's what Pokemon should be doing.
Yeah, well, that's not...
That's never going to happen. Definitely
Pokemon
not.
makes enough money that they should be able to put decent funding and time into development of these things.
Oh, yeah.
Like
they should be one of Nintendo's best-looking games. Period.
Yeah. Well,
it's just one of its best-selling. It should be one of its best-looking.
Like, it's ridiculous that Xenoblade Chronicles can look like it does and this looks like this.
They should talk to the Xenoblade Chronicles guys and start...
I'm sure they do.
I mean, they should be working more on the Pokemon games. Like, a lot more.
But, like, again,
in fact, maybe
that's not the same company. So
I know, but I think that maybe...
Pokemon Company seems to be very insular.
It's
in a
stupid.
Very weird way.
I think that Monolith should be making the Pokemon games. At least the Legends games, the open world games. Like, I feel like, let's skip one of the Xenoblade games and let them do a Pokemon game and see what they come up with. They could make a game that sells like 40 million units. Yeah. So,
I mean, at the very least, have them involved the way they were with the Zelda games.
Right. Yeah.
They're kind of like, you know, we know how to do this, and
let us help you.
Yeah, we can do.
We'll see, but I'm not holding my breath. Let's check in with you guys. I'm sure a bunch of you guys have been playing this by now, and you have your own opinions on it. Andy T. Monahan says this or Pal World. Pal World has more of like the crafting and the building stuff, which I am not a fan of. So I'm going to go this over Pal World.
Yeah, like I said, this is easy to play. I don't think Pal World is easy to play. Pal World tries to get you to play it more. This has an MMO-style combat system, but Pal World basically is
an MMO.
A survival MMO.
It really kind of is.
Kind of, except for the survival part.
ETH Demon reminds us that Digimon is actually closer to Shin Megami Tensei, but yeah, it's similar to both.
That's why I keep bringing up Persona.
Right. Yeah. Let's see. So as always, go at SIFTD Games if you want us to answer a question from you guys. Playland MX says the entire game takes place in Lumia City, which players can traverse in about 6 minutes if they sprint. Someone did the experiment and it's crazy small. Yeah, it's not that big. It's diverse though. And the game is constantly jumping you all over the city. It doesn't like start in one corner of the city and slowly spread out. It just jumps you all over the map. So you're constantly like jumping around and the environment's
look different. You've unlocked the whole map before you really even know it.
Yeah. Zen Shuriken, does it make business sense to continually release poorly produced Pokemon games? Seems like fans will throw money at anything no matter how bad. So in that regard, it does kind of make business. I mean, look, here's the thing. If Nintendo and Game Freak were not being rewarded for spending $30 million to make a Pokemon game, they would spend $100 million to make a Pokemon game. But you guys keep buying it. So if you keep buying it, that sends Nintendo the message that this is good enough and it's not going to invest more money in the game. So trying to tell people not to buy a Pokemon game is probably a fool's errand, but if you really want stuff to kind of really shift forward, that's kind of what you're going to have to do. I hate to say
they're not going to do that, though.
Yeah.
It might happen for like side stuff, but that
Yeah.
just means they're not going to make any more of that.
Yeah.
You know, like we're not getting a lot of Pokemon snaps.
Yeah, that's true. Vortex Complex, far from timeless art direction here. Yep. Imagine being so lazy you don't even suggest Trainer Tim or something for T. Eth Demon, is surprising you put 40 hours into a Pokemon game. You do that with pretty much every one of them.
Yeah, I played a lot of them. I mean, not the last couple mainline ones, but I mean, I finished the first like 6 or 7 of them. I mean, up through XY. I never finished X and Y, but like other than that, I mean, I do like Pokemon. I don't live my life by it. I don't go to the Nintendo store thing, but I had a pretty good collection of rare and exclusive stuff in my Pokemon box, and I think they're all gone now because I forgot to renew it 2 years ago. But those are going back to Pokemon Platinum. Like
wow.
those were very old.
I know, Matt, you've been playing it, but so have I. We've both been playing Pokemon for a long. I don't even want to know how many hours
I don't know
I've spent in my life playing Pokemon videos.
I mean, I was always interested in Pokemon when I first heard about it before it came. You know, it took 2 years to come out here. And I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting. Even the show that made everybody have a seizure, and then finally came out. And I remember I finally had the time. Remember, I finally had time to sit down and play Pokemon Blue in line for Episode 1 tickets because we were in line for 13 hours, and I basically beat Pokemon Blue sitting on a blanket outside of the Santa Clara AMC theater.
Yep.
Bonding with the Crystal Dynamics team next to us.
Eric Cartman says that he's had more fun with this than he did with Arceus. And I agree. It's a better game in pretty much every way.
It is a better game.
E-Demon, if you played with Y, we meet him there. I don't know what that means. Sorry.
Something about X and Y. There's people talking about how Z through A is related to XY somehow. I just don't.
I see. Oh, here it is. Swan Senpai. It's confirmed that the events of Pokemon Legends ZA happen after X and Y, which means the game is a sequel. Okay.
All right. I don't know what the relation is.
Yeah, when you start getting into canon for stuff like Pokemon, that's where I start to glaze over. I'm like, okay. Vincent says Game Freak is treating it like a mainline game, even if it's not Gen 10.
I mean, it's canon if you want to consider anything in Pokemon canon.
I mean, trying to follow any of Nintendo's timelines is just pointless because Nintendo didn't do this thinking that it was. It never thought that you guys would go back and try to write books about the timeline of the Legend of Zelda franchise. Like, it just didn't have the forethought back when it was making its early games. It was just trying to make games that people wanted to buy.
I mean, the fact that this game doesn't even have any voice acting, and yet they've done the cutscenes as though there is, which is bizarre. Like they literally stand there and act out the dialogue, but there's no actors.
Yeah,
which makes it a good podcast game, but it's bonker. Like,
there's other weird shit too. Like
why not?
Early in the game, the girl that meets you, or the guy that meets you at the train station, she's running and you're trying to follow her. Like, when she runs, she doesn't just, like, run around a corner. She runs to the center of the intersection, stops,
hard
pivots,
90 degrees.
And then it's like, what are you doing? Like, how did you not change that? Like, it's just obvious. Again, the Duck Consulting Agency could have made this game way better, but they wouldn't have listened. They'd have been like, not worth it. It's not worth it. They're going to buy it anyway. And it's right. Nintendo is right. So again, if you want changes, I know it hurts sometimes. Sometimes you got to not buy something to send the message.
It's bonkers that they go so far for the detail and the presentation and the tech and the concepts of something like Donkey Kong Bonanza. Even as someone who didn't like that
it'll
game.
never sell.
It'll never sell anything remotely like Pokemon. But then they don't like you either care about the quality of the product or you don't.
Yeah.
And like you can see the care about the quality of Donkey Kong. And it's just not there in Pokemon. It's so weird.
It's bizarre. I've never understood it. I've been saying
and I know
this
they're
for
not
years.
the same company as Pokemon. Pokemon's not the same company as Nintendo.
But Nintendo could be
Nintendo
like, come
owns
on,
a pretty
guys.
good chunk of them.
Come on,
you could probably encourage that.
Yeah. I don't get it
Or like
either.
you say, do something with another team that how embarrassing would that be? If like Nintendo convinced them to like let Monolith take a shot and Monolith just like shows them up.
I mean, it would.
It would.
It
yeah.
absolutely would. And maybe that's the fear.
Like even anything as of the quality of like a Xenoblade 3 in a Pokemon context would be like, could you ever go back?
Yeah.
You would. I mean, Gen 11 would come out in 2030 and feel like something from 2015, and you'd be like, well, I guess that's what Pokemon is.
Swan Senpai says, honestly, if these games didn't have Pokemon on it, the press and people would crucify it. I don't agree with that at all. Like, I think it's a good game.
I don't think they'd even notice it.
Yeah, I think it's a good game.
It'd just be another game. It would get 6s and 7s.
I mean, this is getting 7s.
Yeah, not too many.
It's like high 7 right now. Metacritic.
Well, 79, yeah.
Yeah.
But
which I think is low, by the way.
But there's a lot of 8s and 9s from that, too. It's balancing itself
I mean,
out.
you're going to have the fanboys on ilovenintendo.com. They're going to give it a 12 out of 10 or whatever. But
and so I did calculate the Fantasy League is going to come down to like 5 points.
Wow.
Because the last thing left is Outer Worlds 2.
Uh-huh.
And you have one more, too.
Yeah.
Metroid.
Yeah.
So, by my calculations, you are... And the Metacritic obviously might shift by the time you do this at the end of the year, so it might be off a little bit. But by my calculations, you are 8 points ahead of me.
And we both have one game left.
And we both have one game left.
So it's Metroid versus the Outer Worlds, and I have a 5-point cushion.
Yes.
Meaning like 0.5 of a point.
No, I mean like if you add up all our points, you have like 748 and I have 740.
Oh, that's a pretty nice cushion to have then.
Yeah. So basically, Outer Worlds needs to get like low 90s, and Metroid needs to be like an 80.
Oh, so it is tense then. It's not full points.
It is. I mean.
Oh, that's not a big deal then. You can easily win.
No, I'm full points.
Oh, well then that would mean that you could get a 9 or a 10 for Outer Worlds, and I could get a 4 or a 5 for Metroid.
How would Metroid get a 4 or a 5?
Well, I'm just saying that's the cushion that I have, and I could still win even if Metroid gets a 4 or a 5 out of 10.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
You're saying I'm ahead by 5 points.
You're ahead by 8 points.
8 points. But is that...
I'm just adding up the Metacritic scores.
Right. Well, that's like a whole game. That's like an 8 for a game. No. That's a lot.
No, I'm adding up the Metacritic scores numbers.
So it is tense. So it's tense. That's
tense?
Nothing. Yeah. That's like an 8 points... Like, yeah. 8.8. Okay, that 0.8 I lead by
move the decimal over 1, and it's a whole number. That's what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter. It's the same.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
thing.
the review scores. Like, I only have a 0.8
Right, but Metacritic
cushion.
doesn't use a point. They just put them up as numbers, as
100.
1 to 100.
Right, yeah. But if you're looking at a score like an 8.8, my cushion is actually only that 0.8. So you could get a 9 for Outer Worlds 2. The lowest I could get for Metroid is an 8.2, or you'll win. Is what I'm getting at.
Yes.
There's only a 0.8 difference between us. That's nothing.
You could also phrase that as an 8-point difference and remove the point.
If you're on a 100-point scale.
Which is what Metacritic uses.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, it's very
Whether
close.
It makes sense or not.
Yeah.
As we've had that argument with Metacritic in the past.
Yeah. It's really close. It's anyone's game. And I think I think you're going to win.
I don't know.
I think you won.
If it wasn't for the Nintendo bump.
I think you won.
I don't think so. It's not safe
I think Outer Worlds 2 is going to get a really high score.
I think Outer Worlds 2 is going to score very well, but like Metroid Prime 4, like you don't know which way that's going to break. Metroid Prime 4 is either, I think, review-wise, I'm not saying this is what the game's going to be. Mm-hmm. It's obviously two different things. But like that's either going to break like this has been forever since there was a Metroid Prime, and I'm disappointed. The reviewers are disappointed in what it turned out to be, so they give it like 75s. Mm-hmm. Or they're so happy to have a Metroid game again, they give it like a 90. Mm. You know, I don't
Metroid
think...
Dread was overscored, I'll say that much.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
By a lot.
And I don't know whether that's going to continue or not.
I think you're going to win. JM Rain, thank you for Twitch Prime, man. That's awesome. It even reminds us again that Nintendo doesn't control Pokemon. We know that, bro. We've been doing this a long time. During Squish, it would be a $20 indie game without Pokemon. I don't know about that. Nintendo Life has one of the lower reviews, a 7 out of 10. I'm not sure what he's referring to.
Nintendo Life is an outlet, and they gave Pokemon Z to A a 10
Yeah,
out
I
of
mean,
10.
Nintendo Life is one of the more legitimate Nintendo outlets, which is why we curate from them. That's why we don't curate from sites like ilovenintendo.com. Nintendo Life is a legitimate outlet. They're not a bunch of fanboys.
Although Metacritic does count I Love Nintendo.
Yeah, it does.
For reasons.
That's what I was talking about earlier. That's why the scores are all janky. Erebus says Metroid could give reviewers AIDS and it'd still get 8s and 9s out of 10. Yeah, we'll see about that. During Swoosh, the first Metroid Prime in nearly 20 years on a brand new Nintendo console is going to get 15 out of 10. Yeah, we'll see. Everyone thinks it's going to get a 10. You guys are going to be shocked.
As a Metroid fan, I wish I had your confidence. Let's put it that
not
way.
going to happen, people. I think you got some wishful thinking.
The one thing you got to remember about review shit like that is like you still got to play it. And there's only so far fanboyism can take you if you're playing a meh game.
You get into hour 8 or 9, your fanboyism only goes so far.
Especially, and I mean, at least so Metroid Dread, as much as I didn't like a lot of it, at least you always know what you need to do. If Metroid Prime becomes a bunch of backtracking back and forth, which it has been in the past, I mean, that's kind of a staple.
It better be, right?
Staple of the series, right? Especially if you go past the first one.
Yeah.
I could see a bunch of reviewers being like, meh, like I had to walk back and forth too much.
We'll see. It'll be interesting. But
that's what the motorcycle. I guess that's what the motorcycle's for.
That's going to come in right before we leave.
Right.
We're not going to know until.
That's like the week of the Game Awards or something, right?
Yep. All right, so there you go. That's Pokemon Legends ZA for Switch and Switch 2. Is that 2 thumbs up from us?
I gave it a thumbs up. I mean, yeah, for what it is.
Something like that.
Like I don't just like. There's a bunch of people hating on it real hard, and like you know, people returning it. People, and I don't.
That's extreme.
It's extreme, but I also it's not like I don't see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Like I get it. But like I enjoyed it. Like I got my money's worth out of it.
I definitely did. Yeah. I played it a ton.
And I'll probably keep playing it. Like I like it.
I like it too.
I see room for improvement in almost every element of it.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Yeah. Yep, I had a lot of fun with it. So there you go. Pokemon Legends ZA.
Za. Pokemon Pizza.
We're about to review Arc Raiders, which is a game that a bunch of you guys may have been playing over this weekend as well. But before we do that, here's a word from another awesome sponsor, the Repair app. Cracked phone screen, stuck zipper, busted bike, borked HDMI port, persnickety PlayStation? Don't toss it, boss it with the Repair app. The mission is to build a world where repair is the norm, not the exception. Snap a pic, describe the issue, and find local pros ready to fix it fast. It's not a marketplace, it's a movement that saves your stuff, your sanity, and the planet. No fees, no credit cards, no data collection, no stress. Just fast and fabulous fixes. Track your items and the repairs, log warranties, build a repair history, and become the hero your stuff deserves. Fight landfill guilt, save some cash, and support local business all at the same time. And best of all, it's free. Join the Repair app waiting list today at therepair.app and be among the first to get access. Fix it, keep it, repeat, because trash is so last century. That's right, people. The Repair app is now live. It went up on Saturday. You can go to therepair.app. And it is live right now. I actually fiddled around with it yesterday. I tried to get my GameCube fixed, and unfortunately that is not one of the options at launch, but I started poking around and putting a bunch of other stuff in there, and I was shocked at how many things are in there. In fact, they contacted me and said that so far, one of the most popular things that people are getting replaced is large appliances. Refrigerators, ovens, microwaves, stuff like that. Which he was surprised at, and I was kind of surprised at too, but he's like, we weren't going to put that in at first, but we did, and now we're glad that we did. But he said it's been very interesting looking at the data as far as the stuff that people are putting into their system, and that's what they're doing now. So now that they've launched, it's all about getting all the products into the app that you might want to get repaired. So if you didn't get the confirmation email, I did not. Well, I got it, but it was in my junk box. So it may be in yours as well. But bottom line is, the Repair app is live and up and running. Go to therepair.app. Give them your email address. You can sign up there, or you can just start searching in the search bar and start getting your stuff repaired right now. So again, go to therepair.app. All right, next up, we're going to talk about Arc Raiders, an extraction shooter. Matt, I'm usually pretty good at seeing all the trailers coming in, reading some stuff here and there for games, and kind of figuring out what the game is like, what the tone's like, and what it's like to play it. I was so wrong on Arc Raiders. So Arc Raiders, when they first announced it, it was always a cooperative extraction shooter, PvE, PvP, because there's other teams out in the world with you. So I always knew that, but I thought it was like this kind of fun, almost like an extraction shooter for the rest of us. Like this like a fun, lighthearted, easy to understand, not a lot of systems underneath the hood, run and gun shooting, taking on aliens and awesome robots. That is not what this game is at all. Arc Raiders is a deathly serious extraction shooter. that is set in the future. I never really quite figured out the whole story behind it. There are some cutscenes that kind of kick things off, and
I don't know. I haven't really been able to put together what a lot of this is supposed to be. Like I saw it was a clip on Twitter, I think, and it was just like the tweet said Arc Raiders is a movie. But the video was just a guy who'd been downed crawling for like a minute towards nothing.
That
was it. And I'm like, what? Like, what was the movie part? Like, what do you want me to see here? I couldn't figure it out.
Crawling to stay alive. I don't know.
Guess, but nothing happened.
Well, what threw me for a loop first of all is this opening scene here. Let's see if I can find it in the B-roll. Look at how many players there are. Mm-hmm. I thought it was like you and like 30 people taking on these waves of aliens and robots. It's not. It's 3 people. You have a 3-person team. And there are other 3-person teams out in the world who are doing the same stuff that you're doing. But at least in what I've played, I'd never had like 12 people on my team, like going after like a bunch of aliens. So I don't know if that was an original concept that they ended up bailing on when all was said and done. But like this trailer for this is really nothing like what the game is like to play on it. I don't think so. So it's an extraction shooter. You start the game, you get just dropped into this open world, and it's your job to just go around and start scavenging. Now, the thing about scavenging in this game, this audio is a big part of it. So everything you do, there's like a little meter that shows up. Even if
Dyson says this footage is from before they changed it to an extraction shooter.
Oh, there you go. Well, that explains it. But here's the thing. All the rest of this stuff is still in here. Like all these enemies, robots, all that kind of stuff, still a part of the game. So you drop into this open world and you start scavenging. And you have like a crowbar or whatever. And everything that you do in this game makes noise. So much so, it's so important that the skill trees in this, a lot of the skill trees are making stuff that you do more quiet. So you go to pop the hood on an abandoned car and try to get parts out of it. Everything makes a sound. And if you make too much sound in this game, next thing you know, the robots show up. And I know that the trailers glorify fighting the robots. You don't want to fight the robots, Matt. The robots will kick your ass and wipe the floor with you. Even those little dinky drones that you see flying, like these little drones that you think you could take down with a couple, oh no. It's going to take all 3 of you shooting that drone with like 3 clips to take that drone down. And then the way that the game works is, once you take that drone down, it's a race to get the parts. And that is probably my biggest gripe with this game of all. So my first time I get in a scrap with a drone, I'm fighting it, and I literally use like 5 clips to take it down. I shoot it, it goes down like 30 yards away in like a pile of smoke or whatever. I don't realize at that point that it's like first come, first serve. I take it down. The other 2 dudes run straight to it and race to it and get all the parts. I didn't realize. I'm like, oh, okay, no
like
big deal.
vanilla Warcraft.
Yeah, I saunter over there. I go to like get there's nothing there. They had taken all the stuff out of it. So it's one of those games. And it's kind of scummy. I'll be honest with you. Like, you see something go down, it is every man. Nobody cares about the team at that point. Because the way the whole cycle in this game works is with money. So, you know, like any extraction shooter, you go out into the world, you survive as long as you can, you collect a bunch of stuff, and then you want to extract and get with the stuff. And then if you extract with the stuff, you get the stuff. And you learn very quickly in this is certain things are worth a lot more money than others, and you start looking for the stuff that's worth money. But bottom line is money drives this game. So if you extract safely with your stuff, you go back, a lot of it you just sell and you get credits for it, and then you use those credits to buy better weapons and better other equipment that you're going to use throughout the course of the game. Well, it's a race to get that stuff. So it is, I don't know why games do this. Like, why do you want that to be a mechanic in your game where you down something and it's a race to get over there and grab the stuff out of it before somebody else does? Like,
there's people who believe that old school way of doing loot is better because they miss kind of the cutthroat element of that.
This game's plenty cutthroat all on its own, though, because it is an extraction shooter. And the other thing about this is, like,
I mean, at least that's kind of in line with,
yeah,
you know, the theme there.
The way this extraction works in this game, though, it's not like a spaceship or a chopper that shows up to pick you up and take you out of there.
It's a state of mind.
It's that. And it's also a bunker that you go into and you hit a button and it goes below ground. So, just like every other extraction shooter, one of the smartest things that you can do in this game is just hide by the extraction point. And there's tons of people doing that. And they the way they've designed the levels, there's lots of opportunity for it. Almost next to every single extraction point in the game, there's a little forest area where you can sit and crouch and hide and wait for people to come and try to extract and then shoot them in the head and take their stuff. So in this way, maybe this game's a little more aggro than other games in that way. Because, like, in other games, like, even in, like, Helldivers 2, a lot of times you can see the guys coming. And you can kind of...
I like the idea that eventually this game would just degenerate into everyone hiding in the woods by the extraction point. No one's going out and getting loot.
Each other. Yeah. But then you don't get anything,
right.
Obviously. So that's the rub with extraction shooters. Are you a fan of this subgenre at all?
I despise it.
Yeah. I don't really like it either, man. There's no worse feeling than, like, getting something really cool, and again, having to race your own teammates to get it in this game.
Yeah, but even in the other ones that don't do that, it's just like, it's just a waste of time if it doesn't work out.
It is a waste of time.
And a lot of, because it's so team-oriented, a lot of times it's not my fault.
Right.
But I'm just not going to do that.
Now this game...
I mean, I already don't care about multiplayer stuff very much, but you add that to it, I mean, I didn't even really like it in Division.
Yeah.
You know, it was just sort of, and I had a good team for that. But you just never quite knew what was happening, and it was just tedious.
This game reminds me a lot of The Division. And The Division, even though it's 6 years old now, is way better than this game. And now that it's had, like, all these expansions, like, I would actually recommend to get The Division 2.
Well, the original Division is even older than
right.
that.
I would recommend that people get The Division 2 over this game, because this game isn't free either. So this weekend was called, like, Server Slam or whatever, and everybody could just play for free, and it was on all platforms. And a cool thing that they did do is that your progress does carry over to the final game, which I wish more multiplayer games would do that in their early access periods. But this one does. Yeah. So whatever you've collected and all the gear that you have that you got in SummerSlam will carry over to the final game. But Server Slam, sorry. Just crossed over my wrestling
on the brain.
I don't know why, because I never have wrestling on the brain. But anyway, they do soften it a little bit. So if you do die, like, you get XP. You won't get all the gear, obviously. And nobody can revive you in this. You can crawl around as long as you want, but nobody can revive you. So it is like an extraction shooter. It's brutal.
Why can you crawl around?
I don't know. They just let you. I crawled. I was like, maybe they can, like, revive me. So one time I ran away from my team. Don't do that, by the way. Don't run away from your team. I did, and I got in a scrap with one drone and one of those big spider things that you saw in the B-roll there. And, I mean, they just wiped me out in, like, one attack or whatever. I was like 100 and some yards away from my teammates. I crawled all the way back to them. They were hunkered down inside a bunker, like, shooting people or whatever, and then they just didn't even know I was there. I was like, well, I wasted my time, and I just ended it. So, yeah, if you die in this, you die for good, and it's very easy to die. Because the other thing about it is, like, these robots are smart. Like, you go outside, you fight a drone. You try to go inside, the drone will fly inside and fight you inside. So there's really no safe haven. What I found really is don't fight the robots. They're so hard to beat. Like, they'll kill you probably 7 out of 10 times. Even if you have your teammates there, I just say leave the robots alone and then hope that they get mixed in when you fight other human players. And that's where this game does get fun and crazy, is when you get in a skirmish with another 3-player team of human beings, and all of a sudden a big walker comes in.
Beelzebub says your team can revive you.
How? Nobody revived me. I laid there.
Apparently they just didn't.
You can crawl and call the elevator and survive. Oh. But I had nobody ever revived me ever playing this. I literally
I mean, that sounds in character with what you're describing.
Maybe.
One less guy to share loot with.
That could be it, actually. But they wouldn't revive me. I mean, I died 3 or 4 times. Nobody ever revived me. And I was just crawling all around them on the floor right next to them. Like, I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe they're just rude and they're like, F you.
Sounds like it.
But that seems crazy because that also lowers your chances of getting to the extraction zone and getting out with your loot because you don't have a third person to help you fight stuff off. So I guess it's 3 of one, 2 of the other. But anyway, no one ever revived me. Maybe he's right. I don't know. But no one ever revived me when I was playing. So take that for what it's worth. This game, as I was saying earlier, is not free. So everybody got to play it for free this weekend. Everyone loves it. It got 200K concurrence on Steam or whatever. It's the darling from the week or whatever. But ultimately, people are going to have to pay $40 for this. It comes out on the 30th for $40. And these games are like, they're typically free to play. So we'll see what happens when the game hits the wild. I had a moderate amount of fun with it as somebody, admittedly, who does not really like extraction shooters all that much. Like, I didn't even like the Dark Zone in The Division. Like, I just stayed away from it or whatever. But even as somebody who hates it, I still had some enjoyable moments. And I'll say this too. The other thing that makes me believe that the revives aren't in the game is, like, the last game that I played was with two really cool people who were like, one guy was trying to help the other guy figure it out, basically. And was walking him through, okay, don't do this right now because you can see there's a robot over there. You'll make too much noise. It'll come over. It'll kill it. And they were awesome. And we were talking to each other, helping each other, and I died and they didn't revive me. Like,
Well, Beelzebub says the teams he watched were reviving each other.
Oh, so you didn't even play it.
Might have been. Maybe it's an item you have to have.
Interesting.
Or an ability you have to have.
Yeah, because my last game, we had a team of 3 that was really good. Like, everybody was talking, helping each other. The one guy was, like, way ahead of us, and he had been playing it, like, all weekend, and he was just being, like, a guide to us. And I died, and I was laying on the ground right next to him, and that dude never revived me. So, I don't know. Take that for what it's worth. I thought there was no revives. But again, $40 for this, I just don't see it. Like, this game needs to be free to play. They need to figure out a way to...
But like, they aren't free, though, are they?
What? Extraction shooters? Yeah. Escape from Tarkov? Does that cost money?
Free. That's not free.
Oh, it's not?
Oh, no.
Oh, I thought it was.
No.
Okay.
It's one of the reasons I haven't played it.
Yeah, I mean, the Division, it was just one part of the Division.
Part of it, yeah.
So,
but like Marathon's not going to be free.
It's not?
No.
Maybe it does follow. Maybe, who knows, actually, after what's going on at PlayStation.
But it wasn't planned to be
You're
free.
right. At first, it was going to be paid like Concord, like a $30, $40 game or whatever. So that's probably where Arc Raiders is getting this from.
I mean,
this is from
I've been
the
hearing
studio
about Arc Raiders for almost all year, it feels like. Everyone's like, oh, Arc Raiders is going to save the extraction shooter. Arc Raiders is going to show everyone how it's done. And I don't really understand. I haven't seen too much of it. I've seen like some of it this week, and I'm like, it doesn't look any different, really.
I couldn't find anything different in it, other than the emphasis on sound. That is the one thing that I noticed is, like, because everything you do has like a I don't know, I guess a value for audio or whatever. And as you're doing it, you see the little meter going up, and it is a little scary, like when you're doing stuff in this game, because it locks you into the view of just looking down. And you don't know if there's enemies coming up because they're hearing you what you're doing.
It's effective in State of Decay, too.
It is, yeah. So that is one thing that gives it a little bit of a different angle, but for the most part, no, it's the same. And I thought it was different. I thought it was going to be the extraction shooter for the rest of us. Like, that's a little toned down.
It feels like what they were kind of pushing, or people were pushing. Maybe not maybe it wasn't how they're marketing
that seemed to be
the sentimentality around it. But
yeah. It's not.
I don't see it.
It is a hardcore extraction shooter. Some of you guys are into that, and if you are, then you should check it out. I think it ended, though, the server slam. I think that was over yesterday, so I don't think you can get a chance to play it for free again. But that's why we're here, to kind of give you
says what happened is they decided to focus on the finals first, and in the process, they changed Arc Raiders from loot shooter to extraction shooter.
Because I forgot to mention, it is made by the same studio that did the finals. And you guys know I love the finals, so I had high hopes for this. But this doesn't... The finals is crazy innovative for a first-person competitive shooter. This, not. So, I'm a little disappointed in it. I was kind of excited for it. $40 is a steep ask for a multiplayer PvP, PvE shooter. We'll see how it does. It is getting good buzz. A lot of the people that played it got told. The guy who guided us through the last game was hopelessly addicted to it. He's like, I started playing this on Thursday night, and I haven't stopped for like 4 days. I was like, damn, man. And his level was like insane, and his gear was insane.
And now it's all gone.
Yeah. Well, no, they don't wipe it. So
they're wiping it.
What?
Progress from that does not carry over to
No,
the
it
final.
does.
No, it doesn't.
From this Arc Raider server slam, it does, yeah.
It does not.
What?
It does not.
They put out a press release saying it did.
I saw that it does not. And the chat saying it doesn't.
What? No, there's a press release that they put out saying that it did.
I hope for that guy's sake you're right.
Yeah, I had thought it was vaporware until this year. Yeah, I'm 80% sure that there's a story on SIFTD right now about how it won't wipe out your progress. But maybe I'm wrong again. I don't know. I got a lot going on in my head. So anyway, that's Arc Raiders. It is eventually coming to PC, PS5, Xbox Series. It comes out on October 30th. However, I only played the PC version of it. But I think the demo was available for everything as well. So
yeah. Sounded like it.
Yeah. So seems like a lot of people liked it. I think there are probably people who like extraction shooters. Maybe for people like that, the slight nuances make a bigger impact.
Yeah, or people who want it to be more cutthroat.
Mm-hmm. Like that. Yeah, that it is. So there you go. That is Arc Raiders coming to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series on October 30th. All right. Next up, the craziest game that I've played in a long time. It is a game called Keeper from Double Fine. You may remember Double Fine. They have a reputation for creating very unique somewhat innovative games, but definitely subject matter that a lot of other developers won't touch, particularly when you talk about the kind of budgets that Double Fine has to make its games. Usually,
Arc Raiders Server Slam event will not carry over to the game's full release on October 30th.
Wow.
That's
Okay, I was wrong
that's
there.
from 3 days ago.
That dude's bummed then, because he had spent a lot of time on it. I'm even kind of bummed. I'd spent a good bit of time playing it too, so thank you for clarifying that, Matt. So anyway, Keeper is I guess what I would describe it as is a puzzle platformer.
Well, I wouldn't call it a platformer because you can't jump.
No, but you're trying to get from point A to point B, and there's puzzles keeping you from getting there.
Yeah, I would call it an adventure game.
Yeah?
Like it's almost a point-and-click adventure game.
A little bit.
A 3D adventure game.
Yeah.
Yeah, to platform, you need to platform.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You need to jump. But, like, I look at games like a Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Mm-hmm. Like, I look at that as a puzzle platformer.
Sorta.
Do you not? Because you don't jump in that, but
No.
you're going up platforms.
I would just call Captain Toad a puzzle game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see any platforming in that.
Okay.
This is a puzzle adventure game. This is a Double Fine game.
Yeah.
What it is. I mean, like, nobody else makes shit like this.
And for good reason. Because here's the thing. Like, I was telling Matt before we went live today that while I was playing this, I was thinking about Tim Schafer at Double Fine and an employee coming into his office and pitching the concept for this game. Because this game, you play as a lighthouse.
Ooh, yeah, there you go. Sorry, Fire Native. Tarkov's still in closed beta. It's playable if you pay full price of $60 since 8 years ago.
That's insane. So anyway, in this game, you play as a lighthouse with legs. And I just imagine one of the Double Fine employees going into Tim Schafer's office and pitching him on this and thinking to himself, Tim has to give this a green light. This is Double Fine through and through. And then that employee leaving the office and Tim sitting there saying to himself, this will never sell, but I'm Tim Schafer, so don't I have to green light this game? And I feel like that's what happened with this game. Who is this for? It is wondrous.
It's for the people who made it.
It really...
Which is honestly the way you should make art.
Maybe, yeah.
Doesn't often translate to success, but...
Or financial success.
Yeah.
But this game, you play as a lighthouse. There has been this plague that has come to the land.
Yeah. It's called the Wither.
The Wither, and it's basically you're just trying to use the light to run the Wither off. That's pretty much what it comes down to.
Being helped by a bird, a 6-limbed bird.
Yep.
Named Twig.
And
this what a bird lands on you, and the lighthouse wiggles itself out of its foundation and just starts a walking.
Yeah.
No explanation. And there's clearly not the only one. Like, there are other ambulatory lighthouses around in certain areas. You see that, like, there's a lot of piecing together what the world is, and the world is mostly very weird. It is clearly some kind of a post-apocalyptic thing in which only animals and ambulatory inanimate objects are around. They get a shocking amount of character out of a fucking searchlight.
It's amazing. It really is. The personification of the lighthouse in this is incredible. Mm-hmm. It really is incredible.
Like, I don't know who figured out how lighthouse body language works, but they did it.
It's insane. It feels like a person, the lighthouse, with just one eye, basically. But the way that it stacks itself and leans to one side or the other, and then in addition with the bird, I mean, there's a symbiotic relationship between the lighthouse and the bird here. The bird does a lot of things for the lighthouse. It can fly out and grab stuff for the lighthouse. It can flip switches. The lighthouse itself, it has like a sprint so it can bust through barriers. You can aim the light wherever you want with the right analog stick, and then with one of the triggers, you squeeze it, and it focuses it on, so you can burn stuff with it. What else can you do?
I mean, it depends on the area. Like, basically, your main interaction is shining the light and focusing the light on it. Mm-hmm. But, like, there's areas where there's different objects that do different things. Like, sometimes you're opening doors with it. Sometimes you're time traveling with it. Sometimes you're, the bird can... rotate switches and move gears around and stick levers into things. Pretty standard puzzle game stuff.
It's basically the arms for the lighthouse, because the lighthouse doesn't have arms.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what the bird does.
And the bird decorates the lighthouse as you go through and do different things. And
like, you're separated one time and you're reunited, and the bird puts a little like life preserver on you. Like, the relationship between the bird and the lighthouse, that's what this game's all about.
Yeah, I mean, it's about the friendship between a bird and a lighthouse.
Yeah. And pretty convincing. Like,
Yeah.
it definitely tugged at my heartstrings a bunch of times. I do wish it was maybe a little longer.
I mean, it's about 4 hours long.
Yeah.
Um,
I never got tired of it.
I think it's a little slow in the beginning.
Yeah. Now, you guys aren't seeing the B-roll live, but when in the archive of this show, I'll have the B-roll in it that I prepared. And when I grab B-roll and make B-roll for this show, I'll record like 2 hours of a game. I'll crunch it down into 18 to 20 minutes, and it's just like kind of the stuff that tells you about the important parts of the game. The B-roll for this that I had prepared for the show today, and again, if you're watching the archive, you're seeing it right now, I literally just recorded from the beginning for the first 20 minutes, and that was it. That was the B-roll. Because the way this game is set up, there's no downtime. There's no, like, open world where you're running around aimlessly. There's no, like, puzzles where you're struggling for 20 minutes to figure it out.
There really aren't even like any side paths.
Nope, there's no... Yeah, you can't get lost. So the B-roll for this is literally the first 20 minutes of the game. And I could have continued on for the entirety of the game because it never repeats anything. It's like... It's just a great experience from the beginning until the end. But again, the big question is, one, how do you rationalize making a game like this? And after it bombs, how do you rationalize making another one? Like, I just struggle. Like, who do we tell to buy this, Matt? Our audience, obviously, they have open minds with games. They like that we turn them on to games like this. But our audience isn't big enough to make sure that Double Fine can invest another chunk of money in the sequel to this game or another game like this game. Like,
I mean, I don't really know how you make a sequel to this.
Yeah.
Like, Double Fine doesn't really do that.
It doesn't. Well, other than Psychonauts, but...
Well, it took them 20 years,
Yeah.
so...
But it did it eventually.
Eventually.
You're right, though. It does tend to just move on to new projects and new ideas. So, but again, how do you greenlight another crazy idea like this?
I mean, that's what Double Fine does. It's like...
Do you think being under the Xbox banner helps with that or hurts with that?
I think it depends what day it is.
Yeah.
One day, maybe Xbox appreciates having this kind of like esoteric stuff in their library. One day, maybe they're like, well, we've spent $80 billion on useless AI, so we're going to fire the artists.
Right.
You know? Like, who knows?
Yeah.
I think every time a Double Fine game comes out, you sort of like thank something or someone
the
that
universe.
they're still around
Uh-huh.
for now.
Yeah, for now.
Enjoy it while you got it.
Because that's the other thing I start to worry about.
That's the thing is I do think that even if Double Fine was shut down by Microsoft, Tim Schafer would be able to find investors to start a new place, but it would suck to have to start all over again.
Didn't he start his own investing platform?
Yeah, Fig. Fig
He
is
could use
part of
Fig
that.
to get the money to make the next crazy game like this. But to your point, Matt, I appreciate that games like this are being made, like big time. Like for someone who's been playing games for such a long time, do you got to have concepts like this
Oh yeah.
to play through? I feel
Also,
like I'm being
a concept
spoiled.
like this with this production value,
Right.
You know, like because
that's the other thing. This game is gorgeous.
This isn't super crazy in
Yeah.
comparison to a lot of the other indie stuff that's happening. But your average, usually this would be like a pixel art game.
Yeah.
But this
Game is gorgeous.
This is a very pretty game.
And that's why the B-roll was just the first 20 minutes, because you turn every corner. It's like you saw in the B-roll that you're seeing here, like there's these portals that you go through that literally just completely flips the world upside down from what you had been going through before that.
It turns it into like more because the wasteland is like very almost photo real, or at least like kind of Tim Burton stop motion reel, and then like you'll end up in like these portals where briefly everything almost looks like a painterly Avalon sort of thing, and then it sort of dissolves away as the wither corrupts it again. But like, yeah, this is I mean, just both in terms of sort of visual fidelity and in terms of like realizing an art direction. This is one of the best things of the year.
That shot right there is crazy, where he's going through the water. Like, look at that. That's amazing. To your point, Matt, no small indie game's ever going to have a moment that looks like that. They definitely put the money into it. It's an Unreal Engine 5 game. They did not half-step on this. They put all their full resources into it. And it's also very rewarding in a lot of ways, like having the bird fly out and screw around with stuff and have the world change so you can move forward. Like, it just, everything feels good about this game. Like, and it's gorgeous. The way the bird is animated, and just everything about it. It's just, you're right. Like, this is an idea that normally would never be this fleshed out. It would be with a small indie studio where they're like, that's good enough. This game goes far beyond that. So, yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by this game, but I'm also confused by it because I'm just like, I worry that if Double Fine keeps making games like this, they may not be long for this world.
But this is all they've ever made.
I know. And to be fair, Microsoft bought them knowing that this is what
and this is
they do.
The nicheness of it is not new. I remember I ran into to Schaefer like shortly after Stacking came out, and my girlfriend had been playing Stacking like she loved it, and so I'm like, hey, my girlfriend's been playing, she loves it. Says thanks for Stacking, and he goes, oh, so she's the one
that bought it.
And it's just sort of how it is, And Psychonauts is sort of their biggest hit, but like everything, everything else has sort of been just this weird little oddity that you're glad is there. Even the stuff I don't really like very much, like Brutal Legend, is there's nothing else like it.
Yeah, they also said recently that they're probably never going to make a sequel to that.
No,
game
I would
either.
imagine. Well, you know what? Like, if you made a sequel that was what everyone thought that game was going to be, which was basically like a God of War clone, and not like a real-time strategy. Man, what a switcheroo that was when you realize what that game actually was.
Yeah, for sure.
Or like broken. What was that one they did?
Broken Age.
Broken Age. Like again, just really pretty. Like no one else was doing point and click adventures with that kind of fidelity at the time. It had Elijah Wood in it. Like it was.
And you were the one.
Yes,
that's another You Were the One game. Yeah.
It's just. But like almost nobody played it.
Yeah, and they're asking $30 for Keeper.
$30 is a lot for this 4-hour game. Well, to be fair, I did look up what I spent on a ticket for Avatar 2 opening night, and that was $30.14
for 2 hours,
for 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
and this is a lot better than Avatar 2.
Yeah,
and
it lasts a lot longer. Yeah,
and you can play it again.
Yeah,
like if I want to see Avatar 2 again, I gotta pay another $30.
And we say this all the time on GameFace, but like if you like stuff like this and you want to see it continue, want to see more of it, you gotta support it.
You gotta support it. I did buy this, even though it's on Game Pass. I did actually pay $30 for this because it's Tim, and I will support him.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta do that. You gotta shell out the money to get more of what you like.
I am also gonna buy Outer Worlds 2. Like I want to support Obsidian as well.
Yeah.
I want to show Microsoft that I will give them actual money.
Well, the funny part is we're paying so much for Game Pass at this point. I don't feel bad about it anymore.
Right. Well, I'm gonna play Call of Duty on Game Pass, and then I'm gonna cancel Game Pass. That's literally it.
I think a lot of people.
I would have canceled it already if I didn't know that it was going to be more interesting to talk about Call of Duty on the show after I played it.
Right.
Because I'm not paying $80 or whatever for that game.
I don't blame you.
So that'll be the end of Game Pass for me.
Yeah. So Keeper, $30. It's only available for PC and Xbox right now. It is not one of those multi-platform games that is on Game Pass, and you can also buy it on PlayStation yet. I'm surprised this isn't available for everything, considering how niche it is. But eventually, I think it will come out for PlayStation 5 and for Switch 2. Can't run. I don't think that game can run on Switch 1. Although maybe
it would be dialed way down.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They take a lot of the effects
out.
Does
Unreal 5 work on Switch 1? They do that?
I don't know if they ever did, actually. Get Unreal 5 to work on Switch 1.
I don't know.
I don't think it did. I don't think so. Let's check in with you guys and see what y'all are saying. Slagathor says that's because if you want to watch Avatar 2 again, it comes in the form of Avatar 3.
I mean, they were one movie originally.
Yeah.
They split them up.
Yeah, and now the third one's coming here this December. Threadzilla says, I'm saving up a bunch of Game Pass games, then I'll re-up for 1 month and burn through them. This will be at the top of the list. I do that with Netflix all the time.
Yeah, a lot of people do that with streaming services.
I do it. Surf Spider, thank you for Twitch Prime, man. Vincent says, technically, Unreal Engine 5 does run on Switch 1, but if I remember correctly, Fortnite is the only game, and it runs horribly. There you go. Who else? Corey Film, thank you for Twitch Prime. That's awesome. This is for Vigigame, says, I must have played a different game because this was my biggest disappointment of the year. Interesting. Maybe give us some details on that, what you didn't like about it. I mean, it's a game where you play as a lighthouse. Like, I couldn't believe they pulled it off. I was like, really? Like, how did you guys do this? And I thought they did. I mean, it's a game where you play as a lighthouse.
Yeah, but I mean, that only takes you for the first, 5 minutes of it.
Yeah.
And then, you got to actually enjoy walking very slowly and solving puzzles with a light.
Yeah, but I didn't feel like you ever had to walk that far.
No, but
everything was just around the corner.
But it has a walking simulator quality to it, and if you don't like that, you don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't bother me, but it would be hard to recommend to certain people that I know. Like, I know certain people have the patience to sort of accept it and get into that, and some people would just be like, what the fuck is this?
Mm-hmm.
It is the interesting thing about that to me is saying it's disappointing because, what were you expecting that you didn't get exactly?
Because like
this is, for better or worse, exactly what I thought it was going to be. Seeing what it was, watching the trailer, and knowing who made it, like this is exactly what I figured it was going to be.
I'm not sure what he's disappointed in. Vincent says, I don't want a Double Fine that makes Halo stuff, Gear stuff, and Excel stuff.
I don't know. I'd take a look at a Double Fine spreadsheet.
I want to see what Double Fine does on Excel.
At least interested to see what that was.
Andy Timon says it's like if a Guillermo del Toro stop motion movie.
Yeah, there's a Guillermo del Toro element.
There's a vibe there for sure.
I think he actually knows those guys. I would be surprised.
Nick Satois is asking if they should get it for your mom.
Mom would not understand any of this.
No,
you should make her watch it.
Okay.
She wouldn't be able to angle you gotta turn the light and move it around. She wouldn't understand the puzzles.
Okay.
She would just be frustrated.
TP, thank you for Twitch Prime. Appreciate it. Anything else here? He says he rationalized with Game Pass. Vince is saying, like, how do you rationalize Double Fine making games like this?
Yeah, it's another... theoretically, maybe pre-price gouging, it would be like, oh, here's another crazy thing you'd never pay for that you get to play now because you're subscribed to Game Pass. That's probably the angle.
Rock and Roll 458 saying the B-roll is playing live right now. Yeah, that's just a trailer that I had. That's not the B-roll that I actually prepared for the show.
Yeah, Vincent explains that to him.
You guys don't realize, like, all the footage that runs on this show, that's a lot of work. Like, it takes me, like, I have to record it. That takes a couple hours. Then I have to crunch it down. That takes another hour and a half. Every piece of B-roll we run in this is like a 4-hour project. I know. No one cares. All the work I do that no one cares about.
Starting to understand why Pokemon is what it is.
Seriously. Yep. J. Reed Vic 7, thank you for Twitch Prime. Anything else here? They're just talking about extraction shooters. Okay. Well, there you go. That's Keeper from Double Fine. Ethiman says...
Ironically, there's a movie called Keeper coming out next month, too.
Is there?
Yeah.
What's it about? Not a lighthouse, I'm guessing.
No, it's about a woman stranded in a cabin after her husband leaves her there, and she has to confront some kind of horrible evil that's resident in the cabin.
Oh.
Resident Evil, if you will. It's by the guy who directed The Monkey.
Oh.
And Longlegs.
Okay.
He shot it...
Was Longlegs good?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it
But
either?
I've seen a lot of people say that Weapons is like if Longlegs stuck the landing, and I thought Weapons sucked. So
just stay away from Longlegs.
But I don't know. I'm not a horror person, so don't necessarily go by me. Your mileage may vary. But apparently he shot this on like a nothing budget in a break in filming during Monkey.
Wow.
And it stars Tatiana, what's the woman who played She-Hulk? What's her name?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. The buzz is pretty strong, and it's playing in 35mm at the New Beverly. Next month for like a week.
Okay.
So you can go see it on film.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
That doesn't happen very often anymore.
No. I just thought it was fun. It was like Keeper in 30. I'm like, what the fuck is that? It was just coincidence. Two things called Keeper.
Wow.
And like everyone's like, is it about soccer? I'm like, no, it's not about soccer. Keeper.
All right. Let's move on. We're going to talk next about a game called Absolum. You guys brought it up in last week's episode in the chat, and I had realized at that point already that it was like turning into a thing, and I promised that you guys that we would cover it in this week's show. However, I still never had time to get around to it. Matt did. So Matt, you're going to drive the bus here on Absolum. I have no B-roll for Absolum at all in the TriCasters.
That's a shame.
But it will be obviously in the final version of this show. You guys who are watching the archive, you're seeing it right now. But anyway, so Absolum, I think the way I heard most people describe it is like Hades side-scrolling. No?
It's a beat-em-up roguelike.
Yeah.
Like, which I guess if you want to call Hades that, you can, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's an action RPG.
Yeah.
It's a hack-and-slash action
It's
RPG.
like a Diablo.
This is if Streets of Rage was a roguelike.
How many people can play at the same time?
2.
So it's two-player co-op?
2-player, I believe.
Okay.
There's an online for it. It encourages you to play online. I have not played online, but there's some goals, in-game goals for that. But basically, it is... it's actually by, I believe it's ArcSys. I believe it's some of the BlazBlue people.
Oh, okay.
There's a fighting game pedigree to this.
So wait, it was made in Japan?
I believe it is Japanese, yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Partly Japanese.
I didn't know that, actually.
I think that's what it was, unless I'm confusing it with something else.
Okay.
But it definitely feels... There's combos in it that feel BlazBlue to me. But yeah, you are basically... It's funny, because it's like, I didn't think of it until I played this game. I'm like, it's not that different to play a beat 'em up as a roguelite, because that's what you do anyway in a beat 'em up. Like, you just put another quarter in and try again.
Yeah.
You know, except in this one,
that's the way arcade games have been roguelites for forever.
Except in this, you get some upgrades that make you better. So this is a fantasy, like a high fantasy thing, and essentially what has happened is there are all these gods, and some big magic. There's magic is sort of the lifeblood of the world and the currency. Everybody uses magic, and at some point, all these scholars did something that caused a horrible cataclysm because of the magic. And one of the gods decided that means we shouldn't have magic anymore, and declared himself sort of like the emperor of the world, and sort of wiped everything else out and outlawed magic, and has sort of taken over. And you are part of this little clad of like the last witches and last sorcerers,
last magic casters,
basically working for this fertility goddess that you rescue early on. And she's your home base, and you have to go out and work your way through and recapture all these towers and defeat all these warlords who are working for the bad guy until you get all the way up the tower and defeat the big bad. I have gotten to the big bad.
Really?
I have gotten to his second form and died in like 3 seconds.
Oh, jeez.
Because I'm like, I got you. Oh, fuck.
Another form.
And I have not like really leveled up my game enough to be able to get to that and stand a chance against the next form.
I see.
Boss. If he is indeed the final boss, I really don't. There might be more beyond that, but he is the guy that you've
been going after the whole time.
Yeah, you're supposed to go after. You have a choice early on. You have a choice of 2 characters. You unlock 2 more as the game goes on. You've got the big thwacky dwarf. You've got a more finesse swordswoman, elf type. You very quickly unlock a rogue type and a wizard.
Are there any? Well, I guess the wizard probably is projectile.
Yeah, he is projectile based. Although a lot of your ranged attacks are like magic meter focused, which you get by attacking things. So you fill up your magic meter. You can use it. One of the things
Does the elf have a bow?
The elf does not have a bow. She has a big sword.
Okay.
She punches and kicks, and then she has her strong attack is a big magic sword.
Okay.
And it works very much like Hades in terms of the upgrades that you go through a little side-scrolling area. When you kill all the guys in that area, a little altar pops up, and it offers you a choice. Usually it offers you either a choice of ability upgrades or gems, which you use to upgrade your home base and get better, that's how you upgrade the character. Or it offers you money, and use money to buy, from stores along just like Charon. You buy stores along the way. The more money you spend, you get a little stamp on your little frequent customer card, and you get better stuff and better prices as you do more and more runs. And the big thing from Hades is that it uses the same structure where a lot of the side quests and a lot of the story only happens when you die and come back, and then things have changed back at the home base.
So a lot of the plot has moved forward back at the hub.
Yeah. And come back to the hub. It's not as extensive as Hades, but you'll run into somebody out in the world, and then you'll die, and now they're back at the hub, and now they offer you a new kind of upgrade thing. There's like several characters like that.
So you meet people out on your run, and then they end up back at your base.
A lot of times that's what happens.
Okay.
Or they'll help you later, or they'll show up later. Like the first character you unlock shows up like 3 different places until you finally get a chance to talk to her and tell her like, hey, go back here, and once she goes back, you can unlock her you can play her as a character.
I see. Okay.
And every character has separate upgrades. There's general the tree you upgrade with gems is an upgrade for all your characters, and then there's like an anvil
specific for
where
each
you
one.
upgrade, because like the attack you use with the magic, which are the triggers, you can swap that out. So like you can unlock new ones, and as you throw, that's a separate currency, like magic fruit. You throw the thing it is, and you throw that in. And as you upgrade that, you get upgrades unlocked in different trees that are not character related, and that just makes you more. Basically, it lets you swap out better upgrades in the field.
Yeah,
like it lets you re-roll the upgrades.
Yeah.
And that's
pretty cool.
And that's kind of how it works. And so you have to win the game. You have to go from
zero to the whole
zero all the way through. You got to survive the whole game on 1 quarter. Basically,
I wonder if I will ever in my life finish a roguelite. I have never done it.
I don't know.
Have you? Have you finished one?
I don't think so.
I never have.
I finished Shiren the Wanderer.
Okay.
And I finished Unemployed Ninja. That was kind of a roguelite.
The closest I got is first Hades.
And
that's the closest I've ever got.
I got pretty far in Hades. I didn't finish it.
I didn't either.
trying to think if there's anything else. Probably not. I mean, I finished actually. It's more of a roguelike, not a roguelite.
Yeah.
But I did finish Dragon Crystal on the Game Gear. That was very hard.
Have any of you guys ever finished a roguelite? It's actually kind of funny to think about if anyone has ever finished. Has anyone in either chat, on YouTube or on Twitch, ever finished
my niece
one?
finished Hades.
My daughter finished Hades.
Yeah, that's my niece.
It's pretty easy to finish the Rogue Prince of Persia. I played that for like an hour and a half or something like that.
Right, yeah, you can do that.
Who else?
Yeah, I don't know. They're not my favorite thing. This one's pretty good though. As someone who prefers fighting games and beat 'em ups to a lot of other things, like it's fun to play.
Why do you bring in the fighting game into the discussion?
Because there's so much juggling and combo stuff.
But you're not doing like quarter circle and stuff like that, or are you?
No, you are not. But you are doing up and mixing the moves together to keep them in the air. You are looking for.
It's tech and stuff.
Yeah, because like there's a lot of parry and countering, which works,
on a 2D plane,
which works very similar. Well, I mean, it is a 3D. You're moving up and down.
You are moving
in and out.
Yeah.
So your attacks are you have regular light attack, heavy attack, which is slower, but that's the thing that usually a lot of your magic abilities that you upgrade with through the run are applied to your heavy attack. So
I noticed that I was watching someone else play it, and it looked like elemental.
Yes.
Like you can add flame to your sword, and when you attack it. Burns the enemy, and it keeps burning the enemy.
And then there's electric stuff. Like you were building up electric charge, and then once you built it up, the next time you attack with light attack, you chain lightning through everybody. And you can get upgrades where like every time you chain lightning, it sets everybody else on fire. And so you can cross over elements and stuff. And you unlock new schools. Every element is a school of magic, and you find more as you go on and unlock more. I've gotten that far, but I still haven't unlocked 3 of the schools of magic. I haven't seen them yet.
Actually, Returnal may have been the farthest I made it in a roguelike, now that I think about it. I think I made it further in Returnal than Hades.
And
close though.
And then you have you obviously have jump, and then you have dodge. B is dodge on an Xbox controller. So the dodge is interesting because this is where a lot of the fighting game, at least the modern fighting game stuff, comes from, because it reminds me of a lot of how Street Fighter 3 and 6 work. So if you tap dodge, if you get attacked while you're dodging, you will block it.
Okay.
It's a blue spark block. And if you then attack after that, you will get a punish, which will hit them with a red starburst and does more damage and will often stagger a block. It'll break their defense.
Yeah.
You can't do that with red attack. Red attacks are unblockable. You can dodge them though, which means you dodge up or down, and you will dodge from to the side, assuming the attack doesn't sweep in an arc, which can still hit you. But if you dodge that way and then you hit the attack, you will auto target back at them for a diagonal angle as a punish, and that will also break through their attacks. And then if you hit them enough, even if they're blocking, you put what's called pressure on them, and you can over pressure them, which breaks their block and basically dizzies them, so you can juggle them or hit them for free for a while. And that is very Anime Fighter. All that is very much Anime Fighter style.
Is every enemy in this a big deal? Because in a lot of these games, they're just fodder, but it sounds like in this game, every enemy
there are some, obviously, you're probably not going to struggle with the birds and the dogs, but almost any enemy in this game can really hurt you.
Okay.
Even when you're wandering into an area where I'm you wander in an area where it's humans, and humans are against you because they're generally working for the bad guy, and they also, even the ones that aren't working for the bad guy, don't like magic. So they're wizard, killer. And
I also noticed that in what I was watching, it's the whole society, they hate magic.
They're not down with it.
Yeah,
and they're holding spears. I'm okay, I'm just gonna jump in and they will poke you out of the air whenever they want. And there's a bunch of stuff you can. I mean, again,
in a roguelite.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean, you're losing a tenth of your life from that.
Wow,
that's not nothing. There are probably more ways to gain health back in this than most roguelites I've played.
So they balance it.
There's periodic camps, which give you 15% of your health back. You can smash items and find food in them, as with every beat 'em up ever made. Anything, obviously, if you find a sandwich in a barrel, it's safe to eat, unless it's rotten. Sometimes they're rotten. Don't eat the rotten ones. Once you get once you learn the combos of things, like any roguelite, you're gonna start to figure out this is a good combo. And so you've also got the different abilities you use for use the magic on, you can swap between those, like the weapons in Hades, and every time you go on a run, one of them will be highlighted as you'll get extra currency if you pick this one. So it's just like that. And so like the one I've mostly played is the elf with the basically a shoryuken. She has a projectile wave. She has a cyclone, like get everybody off me thing. Like they're all varied, but they're all pretty good. I think I prefer the shoryuken for the most part because it's a better boss killer. It launches them so you can juggle them for a while.
I see.
And you can get a lot. So like my best combo. Like I said, I got to the last boss, or what I think is the last boss, and I only did. That was probably my 8th or 9th run.
Wow.
And the only reason it happened is I got insanely lucky on what they offered me and what I picked, and I ended up with this combo where I picked all these things where I had 40 or 50% bonus damage for aerial attacks. I had upgraded my aerial attack, so instead of a swing down, she spun. And I had flame and electric leveled up to 3 on that sword. So all I had to do was jump at guys, spin, and I hit them like 15 times, and that would charge up all the elemental stuff. It would burst out the elemental stuff, and then I just follow up with that would get me another magic bar. I had 3 magic bars at that point, so I could level of magic bar, hit them with the magic bar to break their defense, and then jump back in and do it again. And very few things that weren't bosses could stand up to more than that. I was melting through stuff.
Wow.
And it wasn't. I even kind of burned through the final boss's first form for the first, because usually halfway through the boss's life bar, they get angry and change something up, and then it became a little harder. But like,
why do you think this game is generating so much buzz? What is it about it that makes it different that people are resonating with it? Do you think
it's a beat 'em up?
That's just the genre.
It's a beat 'em up renaissance.
It's the first roguelite beat 'em up.
It's a beat 'em up renaissance right now, and they're taking it and applying it to a roguelite. That's it. It's a chocolate and peanut butter thing, basically. I think
2 great things that go great together.
And it's a very well made. Even if this wasn't a roguelite, this would be a very good beat 'em up. That's the thing. Is it stands alone as its own genre, but they've basically taken the lessons of Hades and applied those to it as a roguelite.
Okay.
So it reminds me of Hades in terms of what they have learned from Hades. It doesn't play like Hades.
I see.
It does kind of have a tone like Hades. Like
it really does. It has a similar vibe to it.
There is certainly a sort of everybody's a little more modern than you might think they are. Everybody's a little unimpressed with what's happening to the same degree.
Little hip.
They're a little hip to the jive. They're acting like they've been there before a little bit. But there's like alternate paths to go. There's side quests. Like you can see this big map to see where you can go, and like there's different things you'll find out. It's like, oh, like by the way, if you hit this bush next to this thing, you might find something cool, and like that'll open a whole separate path through this area to go through. There's tons of, I accidentally ended up in a heist at one point. Like there's side things that go way further than you think they might in a beat 'em up like that, and they always inevitably come back to the golden path. There's options you can do. There's like a thing where you take a ship, like an ally you kind of run into, sort of like a rogue person, and she takes you on a ship to the next like main area, and while you're there, you can steal her gold out of the hold of the ship, and it's a whole other boss fight.
Oh wow!
And she remembers that. And like the next time you go, there's guards on the door, and they're like, if you want to come in here, you have to kill all of us. And I'm like, I kind of want to, but I also don't know what might happen. Like if I do that, what happens next time? Like it does that Hades thing where it remembers what you did.
Yeah.
Like it's not resetting the world. What you are dying and you're being brought back. You're being brought back to life by the Earth Goddess, and everyone remembers you've died again. And that's sort of you walk by the other characters you can pick, and they're like, "Give me a shot. I wouldn't die." And it's like, "No, you would, dude. I'm still me playing. You're not going to do any better. I promise." So yeah, it's really good. It's gorgeous. I think it looks great. I love the art style. I love the animation. It feels really good to hit things and juggle them, and even the little guys, like you feel like you come out of a fight like having pulled off like a 500 hit combo with like killing all these guys, and you realize you didn't get hit the whole time. You're like, yeah, all right. Like
now this game is $25. The fact that you kind of made it to the end on your 8th or 9th run,
I'm never gonna. You
think you could replicate it again?
I don't know when I'm gonna see that part of the game again.
Gotcha.
Like again, like I said, that was a perfect storm of upgrades
It happens sometimes.
that I didn't even realize would do that. I was like, oh, that seems pretty good. I'm doing the thing that you do all the time when you see new stuff in these games. You're like, oh, that seems like a good idea. Why not? I'll try that. And I was like, oh, this is excellent. And it's like, I haven't gotten all those in the same run again.
Gotcha.
So you kind of got to adjust your
Luck
style.
of the draw.
And it's hard. I mean, there's characters that completely short circuit how you expect them to behave. There's a lot of dodging. There's blocking. Yeah, they overwhelm me with numbers sometimes.
Lots of numbers,
You can get tons of characters on the screen at one time. You can also hire allies to join you, and that they actually are pretty useful. And there are upgrades back at the home base that give them more health and more damage, and that is an actual function of the game. Like there's times when I'm like, oh, I'm not doing very well. My upgrades have sucked, so I'm going to hire this goblin mercenary. And having one more person for that boss to attack makes all the difference.
Just to distract the boss, so that it focuses a couple attacks on the.
And
other
they don't I kind of expect, these guys are going to go down 5. No, those guys they have a life bar like you. They're pretty robust, and they'll be around for a while. You're not wasting 50 gold just for nothing.
Game sounds pretty deep.
They're pretty great. It's pretty great. Even as someone who's not a big fan of the roguelite format. Putting it on a beat 'em up really works for me because I don't really mind playing a beat 'em up over and over again because that's kind of what it is.
That's what a beat 'em up is. Yeah. That's how we've been playing them since we were kids.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Let's check with you guys because you guys told us to check this game out. So obviously you guys should have something to say about it. Playland says it has plenty of replayability, and each of the 4 available characters have their own motivations and storylines.
Yeah, I should note that I haven't even touched
the other characters
because I unlocked the wizard on my crazy end boss run, so I haven't even really had a chance to dig into him yet. Because now I'm so invested in the elf that I'm sort of like, well, I don't want to start over because I'm really used to how she plays.
Right.
And the wizard seems like he plays very differently, and I don't really want to relearn the game quite yet. So I'm kind of continuing with her, but I am curious about how he works. I'm not super curious about the thief because she used a lot of trap stuff, and I'm terrible with trap planting stuff. I'm very bad at that.
Over on YouTube, Chino Horman says, I only finished Hades because of God mode. Sir Reverend Samurai 3560 says, I finished Hades, but that's it. Draylock says, I've been playing Hades the past few weeks. Once I max out the upgrades, I still can't get past. I will enable God mode. Yeah. That may be the only way I could ever finish it.
It is nice that Hades lets you do that. Yeah. This game doesn't have a God mode, but it does let you adjust the damage that's done to you and that you do to the enemy. So you can roll the damage all the way by percentage. So you can roll the damage all the way down to 0% if you want.
You can make your own God mode.
You make your own God mode.
Gotcha. Yeah. Noxiator United says, Hades vibe is unending. Day at the office where everyone flirts with each other.
Yeah.
What else we got here? Noxiator United says, getting a crazy run is what it's all about. I mean, that's why you play these games. To have that one run where everything clicks into place. And I think that's the secret sauce of these games is the frequency in which that happens for the average player. And how do you guide that? I don't know how. That's witchcraft.
It's very hard. And it doesn't even have to be that. One run, I just got tons of gold.
Right.
I just happened to get tons of gold, so I could spend tons of gold at the merchant. And I leveled up my customer card 3 times, and so now I get way better prices and cooler items there. And that actually has made a big difference.
That affects everything after that.
So it's I didn't really get that far with that run, but the fact that I got so much money really changed the game going forward.
Yep.
And that is kind of the sign of okay, well, I don't know what they're doing, what kind of black magic they're working behind the scenes, but they are doing a good job of making me feel like I'm not wasting my time.
That is the key to playing a roguelike. Yeah. Making sure you don't feel like you're wasting your freaking time. Playland says it's like when you use the sideline attack on Fatal Fury, you can dodge and then counter attack. Yeah.
Except this is designed for that.
Yep. AJ asks, Matt, do you believe we will start to see more games like Absolum?
I don't know. I think this would be very hard to make, and I think it would be even harder to make it good.
Yeah.
I think there's probably 3 developers on the planet that could make a game as good as this of this type, and this is one of them. I think maybe the Guilty Gear guys and the Street Fighter team might be able to pull something like this off. I don't know. It's. I don't think this is just like Hades. I don't think this is as easy as they make it look.
I don't either. I agree. Tiny Blip in History says, I like Absolum choice for visual arts, though very European comic style. I like it too. It looks good. Yeah.
It has a very nice doesn't quite look like anything else, but it does look familiar in a weird way. Like it's a nice balance.
Nightwing 3060, I platinumed Ender Lily's Quietest of the Nights. All right.
Wow.
that's worth bragging about. Fried X100 says I finished the first Rogue Legacy.
That's hard.
Big Smoke says can't stand roguelites. Fried X100 says he also finished Vampire Survivors.
Is that a roguelite? I guess so.
I've never played that game. That's another game that's a huge
So I
thing.
did finish that game.
Oh, you did?
I did finish it. I like Vampire Survivors a lot, but I don't know. I didn't know if that counted as a roguelite. I guess it does.
Yeah.
But
Enter the Gungeon from Case Money.
I actually really like Vampire Survivors.
Akuma MVC2 says I finished Hades all the way. And then we're back where we were. So yeah, a lot of you guys have finished a lot of roguelites. Matt and I are slacking behind you guys. We have yet to hit that pinnacle. What's the easiest one to finish is what I should be asking. They're probably saying basically Hades, but is using God mode to finish it really finishing it?
Nah, I mean, I can see wanting to use God mode to see the whole story because the story is compelling enough that I'd want to know. But
yeah. Cino51 asks, is FTL a roguelike?
I think FTL is a roguelike, yes.
Yeah.
Roguelike and roguelite are two different things.
They are different things, yeah.
Roguelikes are not my bag.
Yeah.
Because those are just rogue clones.
Yeah, those
basically.
you don't get like stuff
you don't
that help.
get, yeah, the definition, the distinguishing feature of a roguelite is that you get to upgrade things and make things better for yourself.
Right.
Roguelikes
it makes
are just
the subsequent run easier.
Yeah, roguelikes are just do it again from scratch.
Good luck. Yeah.
And that
Screw that.
And I saw and those are not popular.
Yeah.
I mean that's a very niche
just
thing.
punishing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw a YouTube video. It was like 12 roguelikes that like you might want to check out or whatever. And there was a thread on Reset Era as well where somebody played 100 roguelikes and did a little and tier listed them and did a little review. And every one of them looks like fucking Dwarf Fortress. Like they're all like ASCII characters and like text and like little. I'm just like because like there's no budget in any of this stuff. But it's like if you love that stuff, that's the essence of it. That is what it is. Yeah,
that's what's under the hood. All right, there you go. That's Absolum for PC, PS5, Xbox Series for $25. Worth $25?
100%.
Yeah.
Also, I can't believe this won't come to the Switch 2 at some point.
It will.
Like it has to.
Yeah.
It feels like that would be a natural
I mean,
fit.
it's a hit now, so they'll put it on everything they can put it on, which is good for everybody. So yeah, there you go. That's Absolum.
Bragging about selling 200,000 copies the other day.
Yeah, which is great.
Was that a lot for? I mean, basically a standing start. Right?
It's probably like 5 people or something that made it.
I think it's a lot more than that.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a decent credit list.
Okay.
Because this is not, again, these are not nobody developers. This is
yeah. They made some good stuff, and I wish we saw more of that. I wish we saw amazing. I wish we saw Naughty Dog try to make a smaller game. And maybe a 2D game. And
there's some stuff. I mean, there's a Blaze Blue beat 'em up thing coming too. It's actually called Blaze Blue, which is somehow by different people.
Yeah.
I'm not clear on what that is, and I'm a little. I don't know. I'm wary of spin-offs of Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear because sometimes they're just like that accent core thing was just an impenetrable weird Muso thing. I'm like, I don't even know what you want me to do anymore, dude.
All right. Let's move on to our last topic of GameFace 455. We're going to talk about Tomonobu Itagaki. He passed away this last week. As you can see in our upper third there, he was born in 1967. He died in 2025. He was only 58 years old when he died. What do you think of when someone says Itagaki, Matt? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
Alcohol.
Interesting.
Because we went out with him a few times.
Oh, you did?
And it was formidable. The man partied like few people I've ever been around.
Did you go out in Japan or here?
Japan.
In Japan.
Yeah.
Did you go to a strip club?
No. One time here.
That's where he liked to go.
Yeah, that's what I heard. He's regular booths and stuff. Like I think it was Mizuguchi was with us, and he was basically telling us stories about drinking with Itagaki while we were out with Itagaki.
Yeah.
And I think we hooked up with him in LA once, because he loved your Ninja Gaiden review, and he had it on his phone.
Yeah.
Which in 2004 that was like half the phone's memory. He had your video review of Ninja Gaiden from X-Play on his phone so he could show people.
Yeah.
And like I remember he ran into us there for that.
And just so you know, I made the review as like a Ginsu knife commercial.
Yeah,
it was like a knockoff of a Ginsu
it was like
knife.
it was a infomercial basically.
Yeah.
And it was just basically
it was fun working on X-Play.
It was effusive praise through the whole thing, and at the very end it's like perfect camera not included.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing that was wrong with that game.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I mean, when I think of Itagaki, I think of Ninja Gaiden. Like,
I think of Ninja Gaiden. I think of Sunglasses.
Yeah.
You know, I think of Dead or Alive. I mean, I know it's not before Ninja Gaiden, but he always had a certain love for the Dead or Alive franchise that defied explanation. And Aerosmith.
Yeah. He was a quick riser. Like, I don't think people realize that he went from just like a grunt working at Tecmo to like a god.
Yeah.
In the span of like 4 years.
Yeah, the Ninja Gaiden team was basically all young guns at the time.
Yep. And I mean, he basically went from a nobody in 99 to 98 to one of gaming's celebrities by like 2004 and 2005. It was a meteoric rise for him, for sure. Now, if you talk to people who lived in Japan and worked in the games industry in Japan, they knew him for a lot longer than that. Like, he had a reputation around Tokyo and whatnot. People knew who he was, but he was just, you know, at that point, it really was his look that made people remember him. The long, straight hair, the sunglasses that he would never take off, even inside. And
to some degree, it kind of started a thing where a lot of those Japanese game developers decided they needed a look. And you kind of have these guys that were, you know, like Iga would go around his cowboy hat all the time. Like I always sort of attributed that to Itagaki. Like he kind of started the Rockstar developer sort of thing over there.
Here's the thing. So I actually asked him about that. I don't know if any of you guys have watched the documentary that I made with Team Ninja. It's on YouTube. It's called Ninja Gaiden Sigma Behind the Sword. I actually asked him about that in one of the interviews we do in that documentary. We asked him, like, what is it like being a gaming celebrity? And he's just like, what the hell are you talking about? He's basically one, like, I don't care, and two, really, I'm a gaming celebrity? Like, he was just kind of aloof, and he didn't really, like, get into the whole otaku thing, and, like, he was just...
There's a lot of, like, that, like, there's a thing I got a Voltron 40th anniversary thing, and they have an interview with a guy who designed Voltron, like, as the toy. I mean, he's designed that, and they basically like, what's it like to be the god of designing that? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Please do not call me that.
Yeah, I mean, it's different there culturally. There's no doubt about it. And so when I asked him about it, he's like, what do you mean I'm a gaming celebrity? And I was like, yeah, like, people in America know who you are, and they recognize your look and whatnot, but he didn't want to have anything to do with it, really. In fact, I mean, the whole purpose of the documentary that I shot was him trying to pass the torch onto Hayashi-san and make him the face of Team Ninja so that he could do all the interviews and do the stuff that he didn't want to do anymore. He just wanted to make games. And as it turns out, it worked, because now Hayashi is not just the head of Team Ninja, which he was for 6 years. He's now the head of production at Koei Tecmo. So everything that I went there to do worked. It turned him into the leader of Koei Tecmo, so that Itagaki could sort of shrink into the background, although that happened for him organically, because, look, I don't like to bring up bad things about people after they've passed away, but talking about Itagaki, you can't really without talking about some of this stuff, and he was sued for sexual harassment at Koei Tecmo. And as it turns out, and I don't know any of the details on the case or anything like that, as it turns out, he was found innocent and was not found guilty of whatever he was accused of. But still, he was basically forced out of Koei Tecmo over.
Yeah, whatever it was, they couldn't prove it in court, but Tecmo clearly found it
enough to shove him out.
Whether it was something that they knew actually happened, or whether it was something where it was one of those things where it's like, well, we just don't want this stigma
around us
on the company, whether it was real or not. We don't know.
Something happened there.
Something happened
for sure. And he left and started his own studio called Valhalla, and they made Devil's Third, and obviously that game was not very good. And it left a lot of questions lingering of whether, there
was a lot of struggle to follow up after Ninja Gaiden 2, like between Ninja Gaiden 3.
He didn't work on that at all.
No, but like there were still some of the people that worked on the previous ones. Yes. Like that whole group sort of had this like golden moment.
Yeah. That
everyone's been chasing it since, right down to this week.
And I chronicled it, and I luckily chronicled it. There is no documentary about Team Ninja in its heyday. There's no...
Well, nobody did that then.
No. It's like, I feel privileged to have been able to chronicle because not only did I interview them, I went and hung around with them for 2 weeks. That's all in the documentary. We went to temples. We went everywhere. Like, their art guy was like, I go to temples to get inspiration for the art of my game. So we went to the temple, and he showed us where he's getting his... Like, watch it if you can. It's free on YouTube. If you like Itagaki or Team Ninja or Ninja Gaiden, give it a watch. Because it's the only glimpse you'll get into that heyday, Matt. Because that's what it was. That was Team Ninja's heyday. And I don't think they even knew when it was happening that it was, but it was.
Oh, you never know when it's happening.
Yeah, that's how it is. I mean, X-Play was kind of like that, right?
Yeah,
Like, we didn't really know.
We kind of did at a certain point.
Like, we knew we were doing stuff other people weren't doing, but I don't think we thought that it would never happen again.
True. I remember right before we moved to... You were gone by now, but we were about to move to the E building, and Robin, one of the executives... we were all talking about how it'd be good to be, because the building we were in before was a production company. Everything was in service to what we were doing. We just walked over, grabbed a camera guy, did whatever you wanted. It was all very informal and a bunch of people hanging around making stuff.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, it was Fahey and I were talking about how good it would be to be in a professional television building where they make real television. And she heard us and she's like, when you guys move over to the E building, you're gonna look back on this place like it's the greatest thing you ever saw. And she was 100% correct.
Because you had to deal with so much more crap.
It was all paperwork and memos and red tape and departmental structures and all that, but 100%.
Yeah.
And so you are right in that sense. We thought that we were just continually going up, and we didn't realize that we had this like golden moment.
Team Ninja will never, the way they were when I did that documentary, would never fit in with even Japanese corporate environments now. You wouldn't allow it.
But that was also kind of part of why what they did worked, because like we said before with Keeper, you play Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2 or the early Dead or Alives, and these are games that these guys were making for themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
Like they did not they were making Ninja Gaiden as what they thought that should be, and they didn't give a shit what anyone else thought.
Yeah, that's true. And that's why it was so successful.
It's one of the reasons that game is so good.
Yeah. And this game, they're like, we like hot chicks, so we're gonna make them fight each other.
Like, what do you think? What would you want in a fighting game?
This
boobs that bounce, and I want to be able to knock people off cliffs.
Yeah,
and it's like, yeah,
there
great,
it is.
dude, done, we're in. Also, I think they should all start with Aerosmith's song. Done, in, we're out. We're make it happen.
Yeah.
And sure enough, there we go.
Yeah.
And somehow I want them to be in continuity with the Ninja Gaiden games.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah, of course. That was without saying.
What do you think Itagaki is going to be remembered for? And will he be remembered?
He'll be remembered.
Like 100 years from now, are people going to remember him?
No. But I mean, people who like pay attention to classic game, like old school
Like people
games.
will know Miyamoto and some people
Probably.
from now, 100 years from now, but will they remember Itagaki? Probably not.
Probably not. I mean, very few people gain that kind of immortality. And his oeuvre is just not, He
didn't make that many games.
Didn't make that many games.
He made like 3 games. That's what I'm saying. Like, there are few developers who accomplished so much with 3 freaking video games. Well, he made 4, really, ultimately. Couple Dead or Alives, 2 Ninja Gaidens, and then Devil's Third. Yeah.
I mean, he made like 5 Dead or Alive.
Did he make that many?
Yeah.
No, 3 or 4. Because 5 and 6 were made after he was gone, I believe.
Yeah, but he got up. I mean, there were a lot of side ones and the extreme, the volleyball
ones.
The
volleyball. I forgot. Did they work on that? Was that Team Ninja?
Oh, that was all him.
I didn't know that actually.
The volleyball ones were definitely.
I actually didn't know that.
Because that's the stuff where in the interviews about them, he talked about how they were his daughters. So that's why they weren't allowed to be any more naked than they were.
That's
which
the other
is
thing.
still a very weird thing to say.
It is.
But you kind of start to see where the sexual harassment thing might have happened. But
well, the funny part about it is like you spend a lot of time hanging around with him. He's not who you think he is. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people thought he was like this standoffish guy. I think a lot of journalists were afraid to interview him or interact with him. Yeah. He wasn't like that at all.
No.
He was very affable, very he loved photography. You start talking to him about cameras, he would talk your ear off and drive you bonkers. If you notice, almost any photo of him, he has a really nice camera around his neck.
And like he would always ask what camera we were using.
Yep. When you would shoot with him, he'd ask you what camera you were working with. Like he loved that stuff. He loved his daughter. When we shot that documentary, he brought up his daughter every hour at least. Like, what is she doing? She's over.
people judged him by his look.
And he's nothing like that at all. Like, I was shocked at who he really was ultimately. Like, he was kind of like a introverted recluse.
Yeah.
Like,
well, the sunglasses I think were in part so people wouldn't bother him.
That, and also his eyes. Like, he had like, I don't know if he had like something wrong with his eyes, but they were very like small and beady. And like when he took the sunglasses off, like it took him like 2 days of us shooting with him before he finally took the sunglasses off inside.
He looks very different than I pictured when he takes the sunglasses off. You're like, oh, that's not what I thought you'd look like back there.
Notice his final photo. He took his sunglasses off. The one that he gave to whoever is now running his social media account, saying like, when I pass, post this poem with this photo, and that photo is of him, who he really is, which I found powerful in his final message.
And there are pictures. I think there are pictures of him without the sunglasses.
Not a lot.
And I think the one he gave them to post, I think that's probably the best picture of him without the sunglasses.
And I think he probably liked
knew
it,
that.
And that's why I gave it to him. So I have been emotionally affected by this. I do feel like the rest of the industry has kind of just brushed it off.
I mean, he's not really relevant to people younger than us.
Yeah.
I mean, we lived through that golden moment during our own kind of golden moment to some degree.
No, you're right. Yeah.
So there's something special about that. You know, it's again like that rising star fell so fast and never recovered.
Never. He said he's been working on something for the last several years, but in his departing message, he said his big regret is that we'll never see it. Which I hope that is not the case. Like, I hope somebody in his orbit has been working with him on this or knows about the project and at least can maybe share what it was. We'll see, but
it's hard to say because it's like, you know, a lot of the stuff he's made in the last 10 some years has only been made because of who he is. You know, he has the traction.
He swindled THQ into funding
bit of that,
Devil's Third, and then Nintendo picked up the project and saved it at the end. And don't forget, it was like a Wii exclusive when it first came out. It still is a Wii exclusive. I think.
Still is. It never left a Wii U.
Yeah.
I have a copy of it.
Yeah.
That I've never opened.
Yeah, it probably might be worth money someday.
Yeah, that's why I had my friend in Canada get it for me because it was so hard to get.
Yeah.
And she was like, they still have them up here, so she sent me the copy from Canada. It's still the same North American copy as anywhere else.
Yeah.
But she put a little like Post-it note on it that just said why. I'm like, because I knew this was going to be
worth some money, maybe. Yeah.
Worth some, but also it's like it was his game.
It was his last. It ended up being
we didn't
his
know
last
it was
one.
going to be a last game, but it was like he didn't make a lot of games at that point.
Yeah.
And I think I do have everything he's ever made.
Yeah.
I did like the Dead or Alive games at the time.
Yeah. So I do feel like he was misunderstood. I feel like the perception that, and no offense, like this is, I think everybody just can consume what's given to them, but I think most people, their perception of who Itagaki was is not accurate.
No, but I mean, you're also seeing it filtered through, you know, an enthusiast press with a language barrier across 25 years.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're gonna
happen.
There's some distortions. I mean, there's distortions about who Suda51 is.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, Swery for sure. He's the other one I was trying to think of.
Enigmatic Japanese developers.
Yeah.
And he was definitely that. He was an enigma. There will never be another Itagaki. There just won't.
No.
And because a part of it is to your point, it was a part of the time.
Yeah, he was a. I don't know if anything embodies sort of that early 2000s gaming spirit the way he did. Certainly from the Japanese side. And it was interesting. I think one of the things about him that was interesting to certainly people who were like trying to cover that side of things and going to Japan and doing that was like there was a lot of like posturing to sort of be that sort of idea, and you got that from a lot of the Capcom stuff, like Chaos, whatever that was. You remember that Devil May Cry style game they made with like Chaos something? It was on the PS2, I think.
Yeah,
they were all trying to be they were trying to posture themselves as a Devil May Cry or a Ninja Gaiden thing, but Itagaki was the only one who felt like he walked that walk, and embodied it. Both in his game, like you met him and you saw that team and you saw how they lived and you saw how they treated each other and went out and partied and how they talked about stuff and how much they loved stuff, like you said, like his camera stuff and all that, and you understood why a game like Ninja Gaiden came out of those people.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the passion for it was there.
Yeah. Also, his personality, like, you know, their studio was not very nice, and you know, a lot of Japanese studios aren't. They're not like America where they build these brand new palaces to make video games. They're these old dingy buildings, and like
And even the new one. You remember Polyphony?
Right.
It was brand new building, but it was built like a parking garage. It was built designed to look like a parking garage, and everyone was sleeping under their desks and these like concrete pillars everywhere. And you're just like, this is horrible. Like,
it was horrifying. Yeah. Well, their studio was like, so you walk in. First floor was Team Ninja with doors that you couldn't see, and they were all frosted out. And we never got to go in there. We shot with them for 2 weeks. They never let us on the floor of their development studio. They were very secretive. And then you
want you to see the whips.
Seriously. Then you walk past him, and there was this stairway that went down into the basement, and you went down there, and that was his lair. He didn't even have an office down there. It was like 2 huge rooms where he had a desk in one corner, and it was just his area where he just sat there and chain smoked and played with. He had like 50 katanas that he collected, and you weren't allowed to touch them because if you got your finger oil on it could ruin the And that he just lived down there, and just every once in a while he'd go up and check on something in the studio, but for the most part, all day, every day, he just sat down there by himself and just, I don't know what he did.
I don't know, but all with all that nonsense they were up to, they still got those games made.
Great video games, yeah. And you could tell when I went out with them at night, you could tell that his whole team worshipped him. You know, I'm a journalist. I'm trying to do interviews with these people and try to get them to say anything critical about, oh no. They could see when I was headed that direction, they're just like, like, no, like he's...
I wouldn't say shit about a guy with 50 swords in the basement either.
So anyway, I just wanted to offer you guys a little bit of a glimpse into who Itagaki really was.
Every sword was named after the employee he would kill with them if they said anything bad.
Yeah. And who he really was. He wasn't just this dude with crazy long hair with sunglasses. He had a family that he loved very much. He loved all the people on his team very much. And you really saw he was a softy at heart, is what I'm getting at. And he had this image of being this hard-edged, razor-sharp dude who made these really difficult games. And, like, I think his games were like a fever dream of who he imagined himself to be.
I mean, it's kind of like Guillermo del Toro, right? Yeah. Like, he makes these horrible, twisted, like, monstrous, weird
like
things,
and
you meet the guy and it's like a human teddy bear. Like, it
is very similar.
He just loves that stuff. That's how he expresses. That's how it's probably one of the reasons he is who he is, because he can direct all that way and not be that. Yeah. You know, it's just because what you like doesn't define you in that regard. And he had an image, but like there's people that like you who knew him better than the image, and it's important to talk about that. Yeah. And he was way too young. Whether you think he was going to make more games or not, like 58 is
way too young. Yeah. And he, to be fair, he did not live a healthy lifestyle. No. I still have no idea what happened. Like, and I've talked to some people who are in the inner circle there, who reached out to me and were like, hey, I know you're on the second ring or whatever, but like us in the center here, like, first of all, they're really struggling with it. Like, people who know him love him. Like the old Tecmo people before it came Tecmo Koei, like they worship him.
Well, I remember like Mizuguchi was pretty clear, especially when we were there with like Justin Keeling, who knew him anyway, and it was fluent in Japanese, so we got a little better picture of things. Mizuguchi was very clear that like there was a social ring of developers there that partied a lot and hung out a lot and knew each other really well. And he was very clear that Itagaki was the center. He was the sun of that solar system. Like, they all came together around him and all knew each other because of him. Yeah. And they all were very grateful to him because of that.
Yep. So he's a lot different than what people think, and I just wanted to take a minute here on the show to maybe express that, even though I probably failed miserably at it. But I do want to give you guys a glimpse at what he really was and who he really was. And he's not sort of what the press and the Western otaku have kind of built him into. He was a good guy with a good heart who loved his family, loved his daughter, loved the people that he worked with. Now, in the last 10 years, we haven't stayed in touch as much as we used to, but still, once or twice a year, I'd get a DM from him, or I'd send him one and be like, hey, I saw this game that made me think of you. And he'd be like, and he'd start telling stories about when we shot to, like, the other thing too, he had a memory like a trap. Like, you would talk to him about stuff, he'd be like, hey, do you remember that conversation we had at this bar that I didn't even remember in Japan? I'd be like, I'd act like I did, yeah, but I didn't remember it at all. And he would verbatim repeat what we talked about while we were drunk. Anyway, again, Itagaki is not who you think he was, or he wasn't who you think he is. Tyler, thank you for the super chat in honor of Itagaki on YouTube, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. So,
and today's a day to remember the people who were too. I mean, this is Carrie Fisher, her birthday.
Yeah,
today she would have been 69.
Yep.
But she died. She was only 3 years older than him.
Yeah. It's crazy. She did not live a healthy life either.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It catches up with you ultimately. It really does, sadly. So, again, I don't know what happened for him to die. I talked to people who like are in his circle and they wouldn't tell me. So
I imagine we'll find out eventually.
Yeah.
But
Maybe.
Depends. Sometimes you never find out from...
When I didn't hear from one person in particular I'm not going to name, there was one person who I was like, they're going to tell me what really happened. And when he didn't tell me, I was like, I'm never going to find out. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. But, I mean, his inner crew are not talking. So we'll see if it ever comes out. But
I mean, it kind of depends. Like I think one of the main reasons we know... what's his name? Now I'm blank. The Nintendo guy. The guy, the big Nintendo guy.
Miyamoto?
Not Miyamoto. The guy who died.
Iwata.
Yeah. One of the reasons we know what happened to him is because a multi-billion-dollar corporation was hinging on his well-being.
Right.
Itagaki does. You don't need to disclose anything like that.
His life is private now. It's not really public. So there you go. Rest in peace, Itagaki-san. Always remember our times together. All right.
And I will remember you as Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2 and not Devil's Third.
Yeah, I hope a lot of people really look at it that way. Okay, on that somber note, it is time for the lightning round. Let's try to have some fun. Emperor Gestal 84, thank you for Twitch Prime, man. In Itagaki's honor, thank you for Twitch Prime. All right, this is the lightning round where we tackle some of the smaller stories from the week that weren't big enough to make it into GameFace episode 455. We try to spend only a couple minutes on these, but a lot of times it's GameFace, and that just doesn't happen, but we'll do our best. We have a big lineup of news stories this week. Let's get straight to them. The first topic in this week's lightning round. So, we found out this week, Matt, that in Europe, Switch 2 bundles, which means the console bundled together with some other stuff, are being roundly discounted across Europe, but particularly in Paris. Is this
discounted? Is this the bundle that is like the Mario Kart bundle, or is this
all the bundles?
What are the other bundles?
Some of them will have a controller included. Some of them may have
artificial bundles.
Yeah, some may have a different game besides Mario Kart included.
GameStop shit.
Yeah, basically. All those bundles in Europe right now are being sharply discounted. Mm-hmm. Is that a reason for concern or not?
No.
No? What do you think's happening there?
I think people don't want extra bullshit with the system that already costs too much.
So why is that not happening in America? Where they're not discounting the bundles
I don't
here?
think America needs to clear that stock out.
But that's my point. Why are they having to clear it out in Europe but not here?
Because Europe can get new stock without tariffs later.
No.
For the Christmas season.
That's a good point, actually. Are they really not getting hit with tariffs? I guess not, because they would come from Japan.
They
don't get hit by tariffs at all.
That's just us. We're the only ones stupid enough to do that.
You're right. Yeah, I think that's exactly why. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're like, let's get rid of this old inventory and bring in some
new stuff, because there'll be new bundles coming up.
Yeah, because there is a bundle for Pokemon Legends ZA.
Yeah. We would probably be doing the same thing if it wasn't going to be
cost more money.
A hassle.
Because that's the thing, like the first couple runs of Nintendo hardware in America weren't hit by tariffs, right? Because they were smart enough to stockpile them before the tariffs hit. Which means
if you don't discount them and wait and sell them, you're going to make more money off of them because you paid less for them wholesale.
Right. Yeah. So. Interesting. Okay, so that's good to hear, because I was a little worried. I'm like, first of all, the Switch 2 is definitely not selling as well in Europe as it is in the US.
It's not really Nintendo territory anyway. But yeah, I think this is just business as usual, and I think it would be happening here too if the tariff situation wasn't ridiculous.
Okay.
Because I think right now you're just sort of, a lot of companies, not just in video games, there's a lot of people like, I want to make money off the stuff that I imported before the tariffs, because that's going to be a higher profit margin.
Wider margins for sure.
So I think most retailers are waiting as long as they can before they have to order new stock.
For sure. Although if you go to like a Best Buy, there's definitely tons of new stock. They don't have any old stock left there.
Oh yeah.
But there's lots of new stock sitting there.
But Best Buy has in the last 5 to 6 years streamlined themselves to have almost no overflow remaining on the shelves.
The crazy part is Nintendo just announced this week that it is ramping up production of Switch 2, and that it's going to have way more units coming into the channels, which means they're just going to pile up in stores and wait for the holidays, would be my guess.
Yeah, they want to have... It's better to have them there ready for possible purchase than to miss that buy.
Better to be proactive than reactive, pretty much every single time.
That's what we wanted. We hated wandering around hoping when these things would show up, and now Nintendo did it. So.
I think it was the double whammy of me going to stores in the LA area and seeing piles of Switch 2 consoles, and then seeing the report from Europe that they're discounting the bundles. It made me say to myself, wait a minute, maybe something bad's going on here.
No, I mean, I think part of the reason the bundle, if they were just discounting the Mario Kart bundles, maybe that would be, but again, a lot of people don't want all that extra crap.
Yeah, I don't.
Because they're already spending $450.
Yeah.
$500, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be forced to buy another controller or a dock or whatever stupid case that I don't want or whatever.
GameStop's the worst with that crap.
I hate that stuff.
Me too.
I hate those bundles.
I agree. All right, moving on. Next up in the lightning round, got some sobering data on Steam today, Matt, this morning. A study by analytics company Gamalytic, which I've never heard of before, which makes me a little bit nervous about this. But their study says that over 30% of Steam games never make the $100 that's required to get the game on Steam. Does that surprise you at all?
Not really.
No?
I mean, you ever look at the upcoming games list?
Yeah.
I absolutely believe 30% of those games don't make $100.
And then I actually forgot to write it down, but the other stat was that, like, I think it was like 80% never earn $1,000. Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I mean, how many games go up on Steam every year? Tens of thousands?
Yeah, literally tens of thousands.
You're never going to see... Most of these games you'll never even see.
Is this good for the industry that there are this many games that are just...
I don't think it matters.
Clogging up the channels? Because to your point... like
the only thing clogging up the channels is all this fucking porn shit.
Yeah.
And I know I can just turn them off, but, like... There's something for me. I like to be reminded. You can unclick the thing on Steam that says don't show me the adult titles.
Yeah.
But like I like to be able to look at the upcoming and just be like, look at all this crap.
Yeah.
Like having to scroll through like 3 pages to get to the game I'm interested in that's coming out in 3 days. Mm-hmm. Like I went through.
That's what I was getting at. You said earlier, like, have you ever looked at the list? And I laughed because it's so freaking long. Yeah. It's like you can't find the stuff that you want to find.
Like that's a game I like to play with myself. Is like see all upcoming releases, and I just scroll down until I see a game I know the title of. And sometimes it takes a long time.
A really long time.
A lot of porn, a lot of shovelware, a lot of just like clones of things, a lot of just nonsense. And you're just like, well, okay. I mean, some of this is just because like if it only costs $100 to put your game on Steam, why not? You know. None of these people expect to make any money off this stuff.
I think they're all hoping that they're the peak or whatever.
You never, I mean,
that game that just catches fire.
You never know who the next Balatro is.
I mean, $100, right? That's worth it for a lottery ticket.
Yeah, sure.
Provided you're not completely delusional and your game isn't a piece of crap. But
no.
And let's be honest, Matt, the vast majority of those people are delusional. And
it can be. It's also good for a portfolio to be like just direct someone like I'm trying to get a job. Here's a game I worked on. You can go to look at it Steam right there. Like there's something to be said for that. It's easy to find. It looks official.
Yeah.
I can think of a lot of reasons you'd spend $100 to put your game on Steam.
Is it discouraging to garage developers that 30% don't even make $100?
I mean, it's a cutthroat industry. I mean, it's just,
I don't think a lot of people look at it that way.
You're fucking talking to someone who's made 9 short films. They didn't make any money either. Like you make them because you want to make them.
You make the art. Yeah, I hear you. Okay, next up in the lightning round. So AI is a big story no matter what industry you're talking about, because it's kind of taken over everything at this point, and obviously it's also a point of contention in video game development. And a lot of people, it seems like it's more the players and the fans who don't want AI to be used in game development.
No, the developers aren't fans of it either, that I know.
Really?
Because a lot of it because they're being mandated to use it.
Yeah.
Like they're being told they have to, and no one likes to be told they have to.
Well, that's why this story kind of rings true, though, because 2 people who aren't sort of caught up in other people telling them what to do said that they should use AI for game development. So Hideo Kojima and Glenn Schofield both came out this week and said everybody needs to start using AI to do the grunt work of game development.
Schofield, I don't need to hear his opinion on anything. Kojima, A, probably needs to replay Metal Gear Solid 2, and B, is mostly talking about what we would have called machine learning, which is not LLMs, is not generative AI. You're talking about basically what we would have called procedural. Again, like I always say, if Photoshop brought out the magic wand or the lasso tool today, they'd be called AI. and they're not.
Right.
That's not what we mean when we say LLMs. It's not what we mean when we say AI slop. It's not what generative AI. That's a different thing. That's scraping the internet for other people's work and regenerating like basically a collage of nonsense, or like what ChatGPT does, and why you get all these stupid non-answers, and why they're telling you all this ridiculous shit that's clearly false. And the reason for that is because those things are basically trying to replicate what you think an answer looks like. That's one of the things to remember, is that when ChatGPT is wrong about how many R's are in the word strawberry, and you tell it, no, there's 3 R's in the word strawberberry, and then it says, you're right, I apologize, I will take that. It's not actually changing. It's not.
No, it gets it wrong the second time too.
It is giving you. It
tells you that it doesn't remember anything.
What the algorithm is designed to do is present you with what it thinks. It doesn't even think, but what the standard expected response to what you've said is.
Right.
So it's giving you an apology and an "I'll do better," because that is the expected response to someone correcting you.
If you dig into those AI, they break.
It's all nonsense.
It really is.
So I think what Kojima seems to be talking about here is pretty much the same kind of tools that they've been using for 15 years.
It's the grunt work. He said placing trees.
No human being placed the trees in Skyrim. Like, you just generate that stuff, and then you go into the places that you want to put quests or towns, or whatever, and then you handcraft that part, or even procedurally generate a town and then just tweak it to where you want it to be. Yeah, because it doesn't matter.
Now that tech isn't that old. Like, just be able to procedurally generate stuff, that happened around like 2012, 2013.
It was before. I mean, Skyrim
before
was
then. You did place
Skyrim
stuff.
was definitely using that. So was Fallout 3.
I'm not sure.
Fallout 3 was not a hand-built map.
Huh.
You could generate. I mean,
I do remember there was a very specific time where NVIDIA started showing that Unreal Engine could now do that, and that was definitely after Skyrim, for sure.
Right, but Skyrim isn't Unreal.
Right, it's their proprietary engine. I just assumed that Unreal is what everyone else is doing.
No. The procedural generation for game dev goes back a very long time.
Interesting. Okay. So anyway, so Kojima is saying, like, yeah, use AI to do this stuff. Are you okay with that?
I mean, not really, because you always need human eyes on things. Like, one of the things I see people talk about is, like, how, like, if you check AI code on some of this stuff, you're like, this is all nonsense. Like, it works somehow, but the problem is, like, once you no longer know how it works because you're just generating shit,
you can't fix it anymore.
You can't fix it again. Like, you want to make sure games will not be playable in the future? Do that. Yeah, because then how do you rip that apart and put it back together? You'd have to recode it from the ground up. And maybe you'll have an AI model that can do that, but I bet it won't be the same.
Well, it's just like I mentioned earlier about AI trying to make music. It doesn't understand that there's a bass, a guitar, and drums. It tries to make all 3 of them at once.
Right.
And so if you ever try to go back and deconstruct that song and remix that song, you can't. Because you don't have the separate parts to remix. You don't have the drums by themselves. You don't have the guitars by themselves. You don't have the bass by themselves. So to your point, with music even, whatever AI creates, in perpetuity, it screws it all up. Yeah.
And I think, I think Kojima, again, is talking about using AI to do the grunt work, which is...
That is what he said,
fine. Yeah. I mean, that's basically what we've already been doing with these tools. Like, I wouldn't
before they were called AI.
Yeah, you wouldn't call them. It's a buzzword. You're just slapping that on everything to justify every kind of thing you can spend money on.
That makes stuff happen faster.
Yeah, like again, everything is AI now. It means that, and again, there are people who would have called procedural generation of a landscape AI generation before, but now that just means something different because everybody thinks of ChatGPT when you say that, which isn't what that is. Like, or even just when you're talking about internal LLM models, where like you're not scraping the internet for stuff, you're feeding all your company's previous work into it and sort of like, generating it off of that. That's different.
At least that's your own stuff.
Your own
you
stuff.
own it.
the thing that I think people need to remember in these situations, and I'm sure Kojima understands this because of who he is, you can't eliminate the human element of this, or you're going to end up with, a lot of people call it slop, but what it is uninspired, flat,
generic looking,
like AI could never make Death Stranding.
No, it never will.
Like, there's no way. No. Like, for all my criticism, whatever.
Could have to come up with a concept too.
Like, only a human could come up with something this stupid.
You're right.
Like, when it really comes down to it, right? Like,
yeah, that's accurate. Yeah.
So, and you need that kind of human inspiration.
Although I could maybe see AI coming up with the idea of, like, you just deliver packages.
Deliver shit, yeah. But you know what? It would need Death Stranding in its language, in its data model to come up with that.
Yeah.
Because they don't come up with anything on their own.
Rigor Mortis is saying that Shenmue had procedural generation in 1999. It used it for the rooms in many of the huge buildings. Yeah.
Yeah, the Magic Room system. It wasn't very good, to be clear.
But it did it.
But it did it, yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to the next topic in this week's lightning round. So, I've been a little bummed personally over the last few years that Miyamoto is no longer working on video games. I was upset that he had left working on games to start working on films and television. In hindsight, it probably was the right decision because of the money that they're making from the films and
this confirmed,
the games are still great.
This confirmed an assumption I had made, but didn't really talk about much because it felt like a big leap to make about Miyamoto.
Okay,
but I guess I was right, which is that he switched to these other things because that's what he thought, where he thinks immortality lies.
So that's what I was getting at. So people ask Miyamoto, they asked him what I want to ask him. Why the hell did you leave video games and start working on films? And he said that Nintendo is making movies now because people, once a video game comes out, people forget about the video game. And you can make a film, and a film is eternal.
And he is 100% correct.
He is correct. Yeah. It was, for me to read, it's hard for me to read, but it's true.
Theme parks and movies will keep Nintendo's characters alive far longer than Mario Galaxy.
Yep, it's true.
Which is, not something you want to think about necessarily, but, how many people, again, leading off of Kojima has said this in the past, that video games he doesn't consider them art.
Right.
Because they don't age well enough to be art. Because the way you experience...
Art is timeless, generally.
Yeah, the way you experience and consume them changes because the way you interact with things changes over time and becomes better or more innovative or different. And, the way you read a book or the way you look at a painting has been the same for hundreds of years. And so he considers, that's one of the reasons he focuses on the narrative presentation so much, I think, is because that will always be this, someone who watches a compilation of Death Stranding 2's cutscenes is going to have the same experience over and over again in a way that the person who plays Death Stranding 2 20 years from now will not.
That's true.
And Miyamoto is correct here, where, if you want to really lay down a definitive version of what Mario is and what Zelda is and what Metroid is and whatever... You do that in movies.
You do, yeah.
That will stand, and that will be the definitive version of that character going forward forever. And bizarrely, who figured that out first is Sega, because Sonic did that first, and Mario's going to do it bigger and more lucratively.
Yeah,
and
Zelda,
like the 16-bit era.
Yeah,
it's going to be the same thing.
No, you're right.
Nintendo's going to surpass them, even though Sega's always there too soon.
Yeah,
always too soon.
Yeah,
Dreamcast. With the CD stuff, with the Dreamcast Online stuff, always too soon.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, and it's given me some of my favorite games of all time. But it's just so frustrating to watch Sega be like, I know you're excited, but just wait a second. It's too expensive. No, you've made Phantasy Star Online. Yeah. Oh, you acknowledge it with a pop-up shop. That's cute. That's cute.
All I'm going to say is, despite all that, I still wish Miyamoto were still making video games, but... Because I feel like there's tons of great filmmakers out there already. There's only one Miyamoto making video games. And so to me, I feel like his talents are better used in that medium. But at the same time, I want him to be happy and do what he wants. So
I feel like he's made his video games.
Yeah, I mean, he has, for sure.
What's left?
I mean, you can keep making them. People are still making video games.
Yeah, but making video games sucks.
The problem is, I think, for him, is that he's realized that he's reached the law of diminishing returns with game design. He's like... I can't really come up with new ideas anymore. I think that's what's happened. Yeah. And he's like, well, why am I going to bang my head against the wall trying to be this person I used to be when nobody can be the person I used to be? That's the truth. Yeah, nobody is ever going to be who Miyamoto was in his 20s and 30s.
And you've got all these new generations that are ready to carry that baton.
Yeah. So it makes me sad, but I get it. So
it's better for him to be better.
Nobody wants to be frustrated at work.
No, well, it's also better to have the person who originated so much of this stuff kind of being around
to
shepherd this transition of how you're going to keep these characters alive forever.
Yeah,
it's better to going forward. I think it's better to have had Miyamoto's input on sort of this era of Nintendo's transition to mass media, and sort of always be able to go back to that. And, it's almost the way kind of Walt Disney did it, where it's like for years after, and this was a problem for a while with Disney too, but you'd go back and be like, what would Walt do? Like, what would Walt think of this? How would Walt plus this? How would Walt do that?
That's not a good way to run a business.
It's not a good way to run a business, but partly because of Walt's ideas and how they didn't change, I feel like Miyamoto's ideas and how he sees things tends to be a little more universal. I don't agree with his dismissal of narrative.
Yeah.
Which is interesting to see him
now
work in a
how
narrative.
How can he dismiss narrative?
Well, you know what? We're going to see when that sequel comes out.
Right.
Because I'm very curious what the new Mario movie will be, because if it's continuity heavy with the first one, beyond premise, basically. Yeah. What do you do? Because you kind of have to do that, but Miyamoto traditionally doesn't like to do that. The real test will be, I guess, what the Zelda movie is.
Yeah.
Because establishing some kind of essentially canon Zelda core has never been done before.
It could be a huge
mistake.
And
what in the world is this going to be? I mean, we don't really. I mean, obviously we know the broad strokes, but we think of Zelda as a sort of ubiquitous thing, but the vast majority of the planet has never played a Zelda game.
Yeah.
And so
everybody knows Mario.
If you were given this task, make a Zelda this is what Zelda's going to be for the next 50 years to the mass audience.
It is, yeah.
If anyone cares, if it's a hit, assuming it's a hit.
Yeah.
What would you do? What would you take from which game?
Right.
What parts?
Which game would you base it on?
Would you base it on anything? Would you just take
start all over?
Pieces from all the different games and make them one new Zelda thing and make that kind of the Zelda that everything comes from, or everything stems from? What would you do?
It's a tough
what do you do,
decision.
Hotshot?
Yeah, seriously.
The answer is you shoot Link. Take him out of the equation.
All right, we got one more story in this week's lightning round. This one's a little disappointing, in my opinion. So, Mark Alexis Cote has been working on the Assassin's Creed franchise since the beginning. He was there alongside Jade Raymond right at the genesis of the franchise. And as you know, maybe you don't know, Ubisoft has been in financial peril for the last several years. It worked out a deal with Tencent, I believe, where 3 of its franchises would go into this new splinter company, and it would manage sort of its 3 bigger franchises. So it was Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six. And so Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft's biggest IP, is now going to be worked on by this smaller splinter company that is partnership with Tencent. And Mark Alexis Cote was offered a position at this new company that was a demotion from his prior job at Ubisoft. And he said, F off, I'm out of here, I'm leaving. So, Matt, is this the first sort of shot across the bow at Ubisoft where, it's not going to be the same as it was before because of these financial issues that it's having?
I wouldn't worry about it.
Really? You know something.
No comment. I believe this will be better for everyone involved.
Okay.
Probably.
Is that all you can say?
Pretty much.
Okay. Awesome.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay. Well, that's good news. So maybe that means he's leaving to start his own thing or something, but bottom line is you're okay with
him
not joining the new company.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about that.
Okay. And just so you guys know, Matt does have some insider-ish sources at Ubisoft, so this isn't him just making something up, is my point of bringing that up. He does have some people who might...
Nobody freak out just yet.
Yeah.
Let's just see if Hexa's any good.
He might... I hope it is. I'm really excited for Hexa.
Yeah. Hope we see some of that at the Game Awards.
I would think that we should. It's time. So, yeah. That's encouraging. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I'm going to worry about it.
Okay. That's awesome to hear. Well, that's going to do it. That's why you watch GameFace. Sometimes you get some insider information right here. That's going to do it for this week's lightning round, which means that there is just one thing left to do. That's right. It's time for Name That Game Tune, brought to you by Soundwizardry.com, the absolute masters, the wizards, the maestros of audio. If you're working on a video game right now, you're not really working on it unless you're working on it with Soundwizardry.com. They have built audio, soundtracks, sound design for some of the industry's biggest games, Game of the Year winners, Game of the Year nominees. If you're working on a project right now and your sound team sucks, go to Soundwizardry.com. They will save your project. They have done it many, many times. They will do it many times over. I promise you, you will not find a better sound team than the crew at Soundwizardry.com. And also, they are awesome. They're so awesome that they sponsor us to do this awesome game called Name That Game Tune, where I play 5 samples, audio samples from a video game, and you try to guess the name of the game before Matt here It seems like it's been about 50-50 lately, whether you win or the audience wins. So he's on a little bit of a heater here. Somebody did win last week, though, which was nice. So good luck. A couple things before we get going, though. If you have already won in this calendar year, please do not play. You can only win once per calendar year. If you don't play PC games, please don't play because you win a PC game if you win. And then finally, the chat goes into slow mode, which means you can only input one chat every 60 seconds. And so don't spam the chat hoping you guess the name of the game right. You won't, and you will lose. All right, Matt, let me get your headphones turned up here. Is that good?
A little more.
A little more? All right, that's full blast. And let me bring up the interface. Sorry, YouTube crew, this is where we always have to say goodbye. Thanks again to Tyler for the super chat. Thanks to everybody who sent us messages on YouTube today, but we can only play Name That Game Tune on one site, and we do that on Twitch. All right, Matt's ready to play Name That Game Tune. Are you guys ready to play Name That Game Tune? Here's the first sample in 3, 2, 1. I'll play it once more. Any guesses on that first one? Devil's Third, no, Eric Carmenez, but I should have. In hindsight, I wish I had done that. And thanks for the emoji, too. Battlefield 1, no. Control, no. Veilguard, no. Apex Legends, no. Gears of War, no. Destiny, no.
Fuse.
Not Fuse. Any other guesses before we go on to the second one? Halo, no. Any last guesses? Usually this first one we don't get too many. Dead Space Remake, no. Destiny 2, no. Good call though, Ian. You know that you have to call the right game in a franchise. But not Destiny 2. Any other guesses? Doom the Dark Ages, no. Call of Duty Vanguard, no. Going once. Going twice. Okay, here's the second sample in 3, 2, 1.
Pretty far out.
I'm not playing that one again. One time. Any guesses from that? Nope. No guesses? Ian Esquire says, I know it. Can't wait for the winning guess. Saints Row, no. Hot Shots Golf, no. Good one, Dark Force. Borderlands 4, no.
Sunset Overdrive.
No. Tiny Tina, no. Any more guesses before we go to the third one? Mass Effect Andromeda, no. Madden 09, no. That one game. No. High on Life, no. Any last guesses? Dragon Age Origins, no.
I don't think anyone said pretty far out in Dragon Age Origins.
No, probably not. The Outer Worlds, no.
Watch Dogs 2.
No. Tony Hawk, nope. Oh, that would make sense. Concord, no. I can see where you would guess Concord. That's kind of the verbiage that they use in that game, for sure. Any last guesses? Going once. Going twice. Kid Icarus, no. From Next to Twa, coming in there at the end. Willie Beamish in the No Game. No, that's not it. Going once. Going twice. Okay, here's the third sample in 3, 2, 1. Recore, no. I'm only playing that one once, too. Lawbreakers, no. Hi-Fi Rush, no. Life is Strange, no. Left 4 Dead 2, no. Split Fiction, nope. Another split fiction. Nope. Not it. Oh, we make it to the fourth one. I always get Shane excited when we make it farther in. Validates my work. Any other guesses before we go on to the fourth one? Didn't get too many guesses from that one. I thought that might give it up. Going once. Going twice. All right, here's the fourth sample. We don't make it this far very often anymore. In 3, 2, 1.
Oh, cleaner bots.
I don't know.
It's another long one. Far Cry 4, no. I've got you guys stumped. Not even getting guesses for that one.
Zenless Zone Zero.
No. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, no. Cyberpunk, no. Knack, no. Slagathor, a game I never played. Maybe. But you can't win with that one, Slagathor, unfortunately. Any other guesses before we go to the fifth one? Wow. I'm surprised. Microsoft 3D Pinball, no. It Takes Two, no. I won like first round this year. Been waiting patiently for the new year. I'm sorry, Cinetyke. I do remember you winning though. Binary Domain, no. Ratchet and Clank, Optimusco Prime. You have to be specific, unless you're saying the first Ratchet and Clank. You have to give us Ratchet and Clank 2, 3, whatever. Vincent says, Slagathor, you mean 3 people who have never been in my kitchen. Back for Blood, no. Any last guesses before we go to the last one? Mellow Pintor. It's going to be a game we all played, isn't it? Five Nights at Freddy's, no. Any last guesses before we go to the last one? Going once. Going twice. Okay, here it is, the last sample. Get those fingers on the keyboard. Be ready. Here it is in 3, 2, 1.
We're seeing a lot of movements.
Yeah, Scott's getting real violent out here.
Ratchet and Clank 2016, no. Rift Apart, no. World War Z, no. Great first time chat though. It's good to get in on Name That Game Tune. Fen Yok, I think is how I say that. Ian Esquire. Alien, no. Dead Island 2, no. Infamous Second Son, no. Oh man, people aren't gonna get it. Crazy. Maybe somebody will come in here off the top rope at the last minute. I'll play that last sample one more time. So I want people to win.
We're seeing a lot of movements.
Yeah, Scott's getting real violent out here.
Any last guesses? Spec Ops The Line, nope. Deus Ex, nope.
Starship Troopers.
Nope. Wolfenstein Youngblood, no. It Takes Two, someone already guessed that, but no.
Is there a lot more explosions in It Takes Two than I think?
Radical Heights, no. What a JJ Forcebreaker with the Radical Heights, man. Killzone Shadowfall, no. Dead Rising, no. XCOM, no. Wow. I don't think they're going to get it. No one's going to get it. Helldivers 2, no. Prey, no. Into the Nexus, no. Resistance 2, no. Wow. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, no. Killzone 3, no. I think that's it.
Gears of War 5.
No. Mm-mm. All right, I'm calling it. That's it. And the game is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, wow.
I can't. People have been guessing Guardians of the Galaxy for years, and I finally rolled it out, and nobody got it. No, Mass Effect 3, Gears 4, no. It was Guardians of the Galaxy. So unfortunately, no winner this week. Did I make it too hard?
No, I mean, I think a lot of people just didn't play that game.
Maybe. Because you're right. I think you're right. We played it and loved it, but it didn't sell especially well. Like that second sample with the girl, she is the person who talks to you through the whole game. She's the person in your ear that like talks the whole time.
The Mantis?
Yeah. And I thought for sure, I'm like, man, that was like second. Maybe I'm stupid to put her voice in there, but yeah, it got through somehow. Ian Esquire, no, it's not my first win. We've done many times, made it all the way through. It's been a while though. It's been a long while. All right, well, there you go. Unfortunately, no winner this week, but there's always next week. Come on back for GameFace 456. All right, that's going to do it for GameFace 455 right here on SIFTD Games at SIFTD.net. Before we go, I just want to remind everybody that we are floated, our boat is floated by Patreon at patreon.com/SIFTD. That's SIFTD. For just $5 a month, you get all our content early. It's the cheapest Patreon for gaming pretty much anywhere. You get our content way earlier, and you get a longer exclusivity period than most other gaming Patreons as well. So if you find it in your heart to go over there and help us, it is the holidays. It'd be great to get a little extra revenue over the holiday period. So if you can find it in your heart to help us, that would be sweet. Head to patreon.com/SIFTD. And if you don't have any money, but you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, help us out with Amazon Prime and Twitch Prime. If you're watching on YouTube, go down below right now to figure out how to link your accounts. Once you've linked those two accounts together, it takes 3 seconds every month to give us a free $2.50. And you get Pachter Factor a week early at our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/SIFTDGames. So it'd be great if you can help us with that. If you don't have Twitch Prime, just like the show, review the show, share the show. I know I say this every week and you guys never do it, but I'm never going to stop asking because I'd be an idiot to stop. So please do it. Share the show. When you see people posting stuff like, hey, what podcast should I be listening to? Show up GameFace in there. All that stuff makes a difference, and we'd appreciate it very much. Next week, what do we got? We got Ninja Gaiden 4. We got Vampire, The Masquerade, Bloodlines 2. I think there's another smaller game.
I mean, Outer Worlds.
Oh, Outer Worlds.
Early access is on Friday, I think.
That's right.
It is 5 days early.
Oh, that's right. So that may be... I mean, next week may be the biggest episode of GameFace all year. It's really just bangers from wall to wall. So we'll see what we end up getting through and what we end up ultimately fitting into the show, but I guarantee you it's going to be a good one. Thanks to our chat who came through and actually corrected us like 4 times today on really important stuff. You guys always make the show better, so thank you very much. Thanks to people who gave us their Twitch Prime today. Thanks to the super chats on YouTube. Thanks to Tyler for donating over there. We appreciate all that stuff. And just one final message to say, rest in peace to Itagaki. There will never be another like Tomonobu Itagaki. Everybody have yourselves a great week filled with great games. GameFace is up and out.